City Council meeting on Thursday, September 10th, 2020 at 7 p.m. remotely to hold its regular meeting for the purpose of discussing any and all business pursuant to the Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general law 30A 20, and the governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may attend a gathering in one place. This meeting of the Salem City Council will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and or parties with the right or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the city's website, www.salem.com. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite our best efforts, we will post on the city's website via audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of the proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to listen and provide comment, if applicable, during the meeting may do so in the following manner. They go to the city's website, click the link, and use the password 989704, or go to the website, Zoom, and enter the meeting ID number 841-6602-3032, followed by the meeting password above is directed to do so on the screen. Participants can dial in a toll-free number 877-853-5257 or join the meeting. When prompted, enter the meeting/webinar ID 841-6602-3032 and follow the instructions to join the meeting. For those dialing in and have signed up for public testimony, press *9 to raise your hand and to speak. Watch this meeting live on SATV, channel 22. Members of the public wishing to speak on the agenda must follow the how to sign up for public testimony outlined in the agenda below. Members of the public wishing to speak during the hearings designated as public hearings may do so in the following how to participate noted above. Persons requiring auxiliary aids or services for effective communications such as sign language or listening device, well, that doesn't pertain to us because I'm the only one in chambers right now. But they are available. City of Salem, and I also, for the record, for the first time, we are Zooming this on, not Zooming, we're live streaming it on Facebook. The city has a Facebook page, and we are live streaming it on Facebook. A regular meeting of the Salem City Council is being held remotely on Thursday, September 20. On Thursday, September, what is today's date? 8th. The 10th, sorry. Yep, that's fine. For the purpose of transacting any and all business, notice of this meeting was posted on September 8th, 2020 at 8:52 a.m. and this meeting is being taped and is live on SATV. Currently, all councilors are present. Councilor Turiel moved to dispense with the reading of the previous meeting. All those in favor? All those opposed? Let the record reflect I saw 10 hands plus my own. I now request that we all rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Councilor Riccardi.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public testimony. I believe we have two members of the public that have signed up tonight.
Yep, we have Steve Kapantis, who, Steve, I think this is you. You got online as Steve 2. So I'm going to allow you to speak. If you want to unmute yourself, please state your name and address for the record, please.
Steve Kapantis, 23A Wisteria Street, Salem, Mass. Good evening. Welcome back. My first comment, neither of the toll-free numbers for calling in via phone are working, so hopefully you guys can get that updated by the next meeting. Second, I am here. I just want to talk briefly about the order that is being put forward tonight by Councilor Dominguez and Councilor Dibbo. Definitely speak in favor of a cross-functional team that not only involves many of our city departments, but also the state, to try to all get on the same page regarding different types of housing, especially affordable housing. I think it's important to have cross-functional teams. Just recently, if you look at the SRA that issued a request for proposal for housing. There was no requirement for affordable housing, only an expectation, our normal expectation of 10 and 80. But however, after the proposals were sent back, I attended the Affordable Housing Trust Fund board meeting, and many of those members didn't even know that that went out without an affordable requirement. So we definitely need to decompartmentalize many of our boards, because it's as if the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. And I look forward to this type of conversation on how do we solve our housing issues from the state, including all of our city. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk?
I'm just making a note about the toll-free numbers.
Yep, I made a note myself.
All right. And then we have Fuzzy is also signed up to speak, so I'm going to unmute you, and if you can state your name and for the record, I would appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Fawaz Abu Shark, 4 Harrison Road, Salem, Mass. And I want to mention something really fast, which is the appointment of Mark Mesh. He is one of the greatest people in the city of Salem. There isn't a place in Salem where he doesn't have a positive mark, well, mark his name, but he has like actual mark on it. Wonderful, wonderful person, beautiful family, and I know he's going to be a big contribution to the Historic Commission. Now, the other thing is about the ordinance or the order that Councilors Dibble and Dominguez brought up. I think it's a good thing. Secretary Keneally can really give us a good input in how we can do things in a positive way. We've been talking about affordable housing and other things, and about industrial zoning and all these things in the city. I think he has a lot of expertise that we could learn from. I hope that the council will approve it if it needs approval. I don't know if it's going for a vote or not, but if it does, I hope it be approved. I also hope that the mayor and Tom in the planning department, the planning board, many of the people who do those things to actually make the effort to be there as well, including the council, you, Mr. President, and all the other councilors. I think it's a good opportunity for everybody to be there. Just there is one thing, I don't know if it's included or not. If it's not included, I hope that Councilor Dominguez or Councilor Dibble can amend it, which is to have the public on Zoom to be there in some kind of form so we can know what's going on, we can hear, we can learn. Even if we cannot speak, at least we can be available, we can hear firsthand, and we can learn. I don't know if that's part of it or not. If not, and they kindly can add that as an amendment, as I would appreciate it. Beside that, I thank you all. Welcome back, and hope everybody and all the families are healthy and doing well. God bless.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, there's no more public testimony?
That is correct.
Okay. Hearings.
We have an order from Comcast to install a conduit on Conant Street.
Councilman Dorr.
Dave Llewellyn is present from Comcast if you wanted to have anybody speak in favor.
Anyone speaking in favor? Like the gentleman from Comcast, can you put your computer screen down just a little bit, just getting the top of your head? There you go. Gotcha. Thank you.
Dave, just unmute yourself, Dave.
How's that?
Perfect.
All right, good. All right, good evening, Dave Llewellyn, Comcast. I would like to speak in favor of the Comcast petition for Conant Street, starting at utility pole 1293, excavating to place 1 4-inch PVC conduit, 122 feet plus or minus, to a proposed 2-foot by 3-foot vault located in the sidewalk. This is to provide service to 83 Bridge Street.
Thank you. Anyone else speaking in favor, or in this case, I'll go both ways, opposed? Any member of the public and participants? Attendees, no one?
I don't see anybody raising their hand.
Okay, Councilman Dorr.
Mr. President, I move the hearing be closed.
Council Madore moves the hearing be closed. Council Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that this be granted by roll call vote.
Council Madore moves that this be granted by roll call vote. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilor Dibble,
Yes.
Councilor Dominguez,
Yes.
Councilor Flynn,
Yes.
Councilor Hapworth,
Yes.
Councilor Madore,
Yes.
Councilor Marcillo,
Yes.
Councilor Prosnowski,
Yes.
Councilor Riccardi,
Yes.
Councilor Sargent,
Yes.
Councilor Torrio,
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy.
Yes. On the matter of the installation of conduit on Conant Street by Comcast, we have 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. The matter carries. Thank you. Thank you.
You, Dave.
Appointments and reappointments.
We held from the last meeting the mayor's appointment of Tom Fury, 36 Dunlap Street, as a member to the planning board with a term to expire June 25th, 2025.
Councilor Riccardi.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Councilor Riccardi moves for confirmation by roll call vote. Under discussion?
Thank you, Mr. President. I would just like to take this opportunity to say very briefly how lucky we are that Councilor Fury will continue to serve the city of Salem as he has for so many years. I spoke with him earlier today to confirm that he'd be able to be here to say a few words as well. And I have to say it was great hearing from him and hearing him talk again. So I'm excited to see his continuing service to the city in the manner of the planning board. So thank you, Councilor Fury.
Thank you. Anyone else? And just for the record, I can see Councilor Fury behind our city clerk. And I spoke to him briefly before the meeting. He came up to Chambers. It was nice to see him up in Chambers. And for all of you that have served with Councilor Fury or have heard the stories, just be assured that Councilor Fury has bought a laptop and he's being instructed on how to use it. And he's very excited about getting involved and participating in these meetings via Zoom. And he's looking forward to it. And I was very happy to hear that. And I'm very happy that he's decided to continue to help the city and serve the city as he's done for countless years on the city council as well as school committee and so many other aspects. So thank you,
Mr. President.
Councilor Turrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say I'm glad he's doing this. I'm amazed that he now has a laptop, and I hope that I continue to get the handwritten notes and not just the emails from you, Councilor. So I will miss those, but it will be really neat to get an occasional email from you as well.
Yep. And I hope everyone realizes we do this in good fun because the Councilor Fury is a very dedicated public servant, and I too got a handwritten note to let me know that he was going to be coming in just in case I hadn't heard. So he has full faith in the postal department, the post service. So that's wonderful. So all that being said, if no one else, Councilor Riccardi. Madam City Clerk, Councilor Riccardi has asked for a roll call vote.
Councilor Dibble,
Yes.
Councilor Dominguez,
Yes.
Councilor Flynn,
Yes.
Councilor Hapworth,
Yes.
Councilor Madore,
Yes.
Councilor Marcillo,
Yes.
Councilor Prosnowski,
Yes.
Councilor Riccardi,
Yes.
Councilor Sargent,
Yes.
Councilor Torrio,
Yes.
and Councilor McCarthy.
Yes. On the matter of the mayor's appointment of Tom Fury to be a member of the planning board, we have 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. Councilor Riccardi.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to ask that a city seal be sent to Councilor Matt Vino, who Councilor Fury is replacing from the board, in recognition of his service as well to the planning board. And I'd also like to request a suspension of the rules for Councilor Fury to speak if he wishes.
Thank you. Seeing no objection, Councilor Fury.
Mr. President, fellow councilors, it's an honor to be here in this capacity, and I thank you very much for the unanimous vote. It's most appreciated. We've had a number of disagreements over different issues, but I believe City Council really rose up tonight beyond the issues that we have confronted over the years. You gave me a unanimous vote, which I do not take for granted. It's a high honor to have each and every one of you with your vote. And I sit here in Eileen's office, and I'm very pleased to be in Eileen's office and Maureen's office to share this opportunity to be with you tonight about being on the planning board. I had the great help of Eileen and her husband Billy to get a laptop. I'm now trying to get into the 21st century and be on Zoom like you. And I've had a couple of nice orientations with Billy Simons, and Eileen's been helpful, and Maureen's been helpful about advice. I sat down with Mason Wells in the planning department, and he gave me 2 nice in-depth lessons on Zoom, so I'm very appreciative. And most of all, I'm appreciative to the mayor to give me this opportunity. I've served for over 36 years in elective office, and I've traveled the city going door to door, and I love the neighborhoods. I love the neighborhoods in downtown Salem, and serving on the planning board has always been my greatest wish. After serving in the city council, going to hopefully city council heaven routine where I am now, I hope to serve you all very well on the planning board. And I'm glad you gave, Councilor McCarty gave credit in the city seal to Matt Bino. Matt Bino is the essence and the epitome of public service. And he served 5 years with dedication and professionalism. He brought compromise and conciliation and really common ground to the city council as a city councilor. And that's what I hope to do, sincerely, as a city councilor, to bring conciliation, compromise, and professionalism. And I really appreciate Eileen and the whole team, and it's good to be back in this capacity. Again, my deepest thanks and appreciation tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Someone's clapping, you can't hear.
You got a yes from me too. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of Mark Mastree to the Salem Historical Commission with a term to expire September 10th, 2023.
Held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of the following to the Salem Scholarship and Education Committee with their terms to expire as noted below.
Councilor Masillo.
I move that this be held under the rules.
Councilor Masillo moves to be held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of Connor Ryan to the Bicycle and Advisory Committee with a term to expire February 11th, 2022.
Move held under the rules.
We have the mayor's appointment of Ty Han to the Salem Public Arts Commission with a term to expire January 11th, 2022.
Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move it be held under the rules.
Councilor Terrio moves to be held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Carly Nyack to the Public Art Commission with a term to expire on September 13th, 2022.
Councilor Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Councilor Madore moves for confirmation by roll call vote. Under discussion?
No discussion, other than, well, very briefly, I appreciate Carly for her willingness to serve and her time served thus far. She's been an asset to the commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Dibble?
Yes.
Councilor Dominguez?
Yes.
Councilor Flynn?
Yes.
Councilor Hepworth?
Yes.
Councilor Madore?
Yes.
Councilor Marcillo?
Yes.
Councilor Presnewski?
Yes.
Councilor Cardy?
Yes.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes.
Councilor Torrio?
Yes.
And Councilor McCarthy.
Yes. On the matter of the mayor's reappointment of Carly Nyack to the Salem Public Art Commission, we have 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. Matter carries. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of David Gauthier to the Salem Cable Television and Technology Commission with a term to expire on September 13th, 2022.
Council Flynn.
Thank you, Mr. President. I like this confirmation by roll call vote.
Council Flynn moves for confirmation by roll call vote. Under discussion, Council Flynn.
Yes, I'd just like to thank David for his compassion and his dedication to the Cable, Television, and Technology Commission. He's doing great work. I want to thank him, and he's definitely an asset to the city of Salem. We're all very lucky.
Anyone else? I wholeheartedly agree from my fellow Red Sox coach from Little League from many years ago. Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Dibble,
Yes.
Counselor Dominguez,
Yes.
Counselor Flynn,
Yes.
Counselor Hapworth,
Yes.
Counselor Madore,
Yes.
Counselor Marcillo,
Yes.
Counselor Prosnewski,
Yes.
Counselor Riccardi,
Yes.
Counselor Sargent,
Yes.
Counselor Torio,
Yes.
and Counselor McCarthy.
Yes. On the matter of the mayor's reappointment of David Gauthier to the Cable and Television Technology Commission, we have 11 members voting, 11 affirmative, none in the negative. Matter carries. Further appointments or reappointments?
Be the mayor's reappointment of Gregory St. Louis to the Conservation Commission with a term to expire September 13th, 2023.
Council Flynn.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm not sure if I should defer this to Councilor Dibble. This is a Ward 7 area. But I'd be glad to move for confirmation if you'd like me to.
No, that's fine. We'll go right to Council Dibble. Council Dibble.
I'll allow the good Councilor Flynn to handle it. Thank you, Councilor.
Okay, Councilor Flynn.
Thank you. I'd like to move for confirmation by a roll call vote.
Councilor Flynn has moved for confirmation by roll call vote. Under discussion, Councilor Flynn.
I'd just like to say thank you to Mr. Lewis for his dedication to the city. All these boards that we appoint people to, it takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, and it's really shows the community of Salem where people want to step up and be involved. I think we're all very lucky, and I'd like to thank them one more time.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk.
Counselor Dibble,
Absolutely, yes.
Counselor Dominguez,
Yes.
Counselor Flynn,
Yes.
Counselor Hapworth,
Yes.
Counselor Madore,
Yes.
Counselor Marcillo,
Yes.
Counselor Prosnewski,
Yes.
Counselor Riccardi,
Yes.
Counselor Sargent,
Yes.
Counselor Torio,
Yes.
and Counselor McCarthy.
Yes. On the matter of the mayor's reappointment of Gregory St. Louis to the Salem Conservation Commission, we have 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. Matter carries. Further appointments and reappointments.
Be the mayor's reappointment of Chris Cantone to the Sustainability, Energy, and Resiliency Committee with a term to expire on September 10th, 2023.
Council Flynn.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like this moved by confirmation of a roll call vote.
Council Flynn moves for confirmation by roll call vote. Under discussion, Council Flynn.
I'd like to thank Chris Cantone for his time in being involved with this. I've actually spoke to him in the past, and he does have a great expertise and a great knowledge when it comes to different types of solar panels and energy and so on. He is definitely an asset. We're very lucky to have him involved, and I'm very lucky to have him in Ward 4. I want to thank him again.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Dibble,
Yes.
Counselor Dominguez,
Yes.
Counselor Flynn,
Yes.
Counselor Hapworth,
Yes.
Counselor Madore,
Yes.
Counselor Marcillo,
Yes.
Counselor Prosnewski,
Yes.
Counselor Riccardi,
Yes.
Counselor Sargent,
Yes.
Counselor Torio,
Yes.
and Counselor McCarthy.
Yes. On the matter of the mayor's reappointment of Chris Cantone to the Sustainability and Energy and Resilience Committee, we have 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. Matter carries. Further appointments and reappointments.
Be the mayor's reappointment of the following to the Designer Selection Committee with terms to expire on September 10th, 2023. Tom St. Pierre, Jenna Ide, and Tom Daniel.
Council Sergeant.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to move confirmation by roll call vote, please.
Council Sergeant moves for confirmation by roll call vote. Under discussion, Council Sergeant.
Thank you. Yes, I'd just like to thank Tom and Jenna and Tom for their service to Salem and for the willingness to continue to serve. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk.
Counselor Dibble,
Yes.
Counselor Dominguez,
Yes.
Counselor Flynn,
Yes.
Counselor Hapworth,
Yes.
Counselor Madore,
Yes.
Counselor Marcillo,
Yes.
Counselor Prosnewski,
Yes.
Counselor Riccardi,
Yes.
Counselor Sargent,
Yes.
Counselor Torio,
Yes.
and Counselor McCarthy.
Yes. On the matter of the mayor's reappointment of the following to the Design of Selection Committee, Mr. St. Pierre, Ms. Zide, and Mr. Daniel. We have 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. The matter carries. Further appointments, reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of the following to the Cultural Council with their terms to expire as follows. Kendall Walsh, Tai Han, Emmanuel Steiner. This is for,
Council Terrell.
sorry.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move these be received and filed.
Council Terrell moves that they be received and filed. All those in favor? Let the record reflect, I saw 10 hands plus my own. So we have 11 members voting in the matter of the received and filed. Before we get into communications from the mayor, do we have, what page is the
The HUD is on page 11, the CDBG.
never mind, we'll just go,
Yeah.
we'll just, thank you.
Yep. So we have an order that the sum of $290,257.84 be approved within the Retirement Stabilization Fund Vacation Leave Sick Buyback account to be expended for the employees listed below.
Council Terrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Council Terrell moves for suspension of the rules. Let the record reflect that Councilor Flynn is going to recuse himself. If you could just take your video and just hit it off for a second, thank you.
And Councilor Prosnewski,
Prosnowski as well.
yeah.
If you could, Council, just kind of turn yourself off for a sec. Stop
Just
video.
pause your video.
You need to?
What's that?
Okay, that's,
There you go.
So on Council Terrell's motion for suspension of rules, can I just see hands, please? Let the record reflect that everyone had their hands up, minus the two people that have recused themselves. So Council Terrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also move for adoption by roll call vote.
Council Terrell moves for adoption by roll call vote. On the discussion, Council Terrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. We'll note that there are a number of city retirees here, and I will just call attention in particular to this Chief Butler, who has retired, and also late Officer Mazzola is also included in this, and this is our, I guess, our goodbye to a good man. So, and a number of employees in the school department, and also one from the fire department, 2 of our IT personnel. So it's a large group of people here, and just some names to kind of point out among this.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call roll.
Councilor Dibble,
Yes.
Councilor Dominguez,
Yes.
Councilor Hapworth,
Yes.
Councilor Madore,
Yes.
Councilor Marcillo,
Yes.
Councilor Councilor Riccardi,
Yes.
Councilor Sargent,
Yes.
Councilor Torrio,
Yes.
and Councilor McCarthy.
Yes. On the matter of the order for $257.84 be approved within the Retirement Stabilization Fund for the various people listed. We have 9 members voting, 2 recused, 9 in the affirmative, 2 recused. The matter carries. Further communications to the mayor.
We have an order that the sum of $29,213.42 be approved within the Retirement Stabilization Fund Vacation Sick Leave Buyback to be expended for 1 DPS employee.
Council Terrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Council Terry moves for suspension of the rules. Can I see 11 hands, please? Councilor Prosnowski and Councilor Flynn can come. Councilor Prosnowski, just hold on, guys. 1 second.
I think you're controlling my screen, Eileen.
The video's on the bottom right.
Is your video off? I didn't do anything.
There you go.
There you are.
No, I was shut down by the host.
Okay.
Thank you, host.
We have a show of 11 hands, please. Or let the record reflect I have 10 hands plus my own. Council Terrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption by roll call vote.
Council Terrell moves for adoption by roll call vote. Under discussion, Council Terrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is for an employee of Steve Tesnari from DPS who's retiring, and we wish him well as well.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk.
Council Dibble,
Yes.
Council Dominguez,
Yes.
Council Flynn,
Yes.
Council Hapworth,
Yes.
Council Madore,
Yes.
Council Marcillo,
yes,
Council Prosnewski,
Yes.
Council Riccardi,
Yes.
Council Sergeant,
Yes.
Council Torrio,
Yes.
and Council McCarthy.
Yes. On the matter of the order in the sum of $29,213.42 to be approved within the retirement stabilization fund vacation/sick leave buyback, we have 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. Matter carries. Further communications to the mayor.
We have an order that the City Council hereby approves the submittal of the City of Salem's application for federal assistance to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development for Community Development Block Grant Funds for the period of July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021, and the amount to be returned by HUD's formula entitlement allocation.
Council Terrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption by roll call vote. Also, I will note that Ms. Guy, as we discussed earlier, is with us if there are any questions, but this is something that we do every year to manage federal funds coming in for some of the housing work that and development work that we do within the city. So if there's no objection, we'll allow her to answer any questions, but otherwise I move for adoption by roll call vote.
Council Torrey moves for adoption by roll call vote under discussion. For the record, this is just to, this isn't about the allocation of the funds. This is just to accept the number from the government so that we can go through the public comment period in order to allocate this money. So this is kind of housekeeping right now. Council Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to use this opportunity to encourage Salem residents to fill out the census because the formula is directly determined by how many people fills out the census. So the more people fills out the census, the more accurate this funding would be. So I want to make sure that everyone takes the time takes a few minutes to go on the website, census2020.gov, to fill out the census. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Council. Anyone else? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk.
Council Dibble,
Yes.
Council Dominguez,
Yes.
Council Flynn,
Yes.
Council Hapworth,
Yes.
Council Madore,
Yes.
Council Marcillo,
yes,
Council Prosnewski,
Yes.
Council Riccardi,
Yes.
Council Sergeant,
Yes.
Council Torrio,
Yes.
and Council McCarthy.
Yes. On the matter of the City Council to approve the submittal of the City of Salem's application for federal assistance to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, we have 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. Matter carries.
thank you, Counselor.
Thank you, Jane, for staying on. Further communications to the mayor.
We have an order pursuant to City Ordinance Chapter 2, Section 2-1688, contracts beyond 3 years. Mass Hire North Shore Workforce Board is hereby authorized to extend its lease with Vernico Salem LLC dated July 1st, 2018 for 1 additional year with a new expiration date of December 31st, 2021.
Council Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote or adoption by roll call.
Council Madore moves for adoption by roll call vote. Under discussion, Council Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. The terms of the lease requires that the Salem City Council approve a 1-year extension of the Mass Hire office at this location. So we are just complying with that term on the contract.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk.
Council Dibble,
Yes.
Council Dominguez,
Yes.
Council Flynn,
Yes.
Council Hapworth,
Yes.
Council Madore,
Yes.
Council Marcillo,
Yes,
Council Prosnewski,
Yes.
Council Riccardi,
Yes.
Council Sergeant,
Yes.
Council Torrio,
Yes.
and Council McCarthy.
Yes. On the matter of the ordinance to extend the lease for the workforce board, we have 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. Matter carries. Mayor's informational page. None. Motions, orders, and resolutions. Is this one you want to take up first, Council? You want to wait till take this up after committee reports? Council Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the order that was filed as a temporary order for October resident parking, and we had another ordinance amendment that was filed with this body back in April to codify some of these changes that we pass annually. So we heard that in OLA yesterday with a few minor amendments, and the difference between the ordinance amendment and the order is that the ordinance requires 2 passages, the order requires 1. So I think either way, it would put both on the same timeline, and Dave Kucharski had filed the order as a backup in case the ordinance did not pass. So I would prefer taking up the committee report because we had a really productive discussion yesterday evening. And that ordinance amendment actually covers more than just the order, covers what the order covers.
So the
page 18.
If we could, someone make a so Councilman Madore moves to take out of order page 18. For clarification for anyone who didn't understand what just transpired, last night during OLA, we took up pretty much everything that's in motions in this motion, but with some amendments, language was amended. But just in case that doesn't get first passage, that this will would vote on this to make sure this gets carried through, because this is reflective of what we've been doing relative to Halloween parking for the last number of years. So seeing no objection, we take out of order committee reports, page 18.
Mr. President?
Yes, Council Sergeant.
Would it be possible just to move to table this and then move forward with the agenda till we get the committee reports?
We'll just take them out of order. Then if the committee report goes through, then we can just put it in committee just in case it doesn't get second passage or something.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Committee reports. Councilor Madore. Bottom of the page.
President, City of Salem City Council, September 10, 2020, Committee on Ordinances, Licensed Legal Affairs, co-posted with Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of Traffic, Chapter 42, Section 75, Resident Sticker Parking, has considered said matter and would recommend adoption for first passage as amended. And I move to, well, the motion is to accept the report.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed, let the record reflect it was 10 hands plus, actually 9 hands plus mine. Councilor Flynn is not with us right now. Yeah, there he is. He's, so 10 plus my own. On adoption of the recommendation, Councilor Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. So this ordinance amendment was filed back in April to codify some of the temporary October resident parking restrictions that we have enacted every year to provide relief to residents, especially in the downtown and the kind of busier areas of Salem when parking is really tight. And the traffic and parking staff went through all the different ordinances that have been adopted and relative to October parking, consolidated it all together and package it to this one ordinance amendment so that it would be codified and lessen the anxiety of residents that are waiting for city council to make their streets resident only parking in the month of October. So I think this is a really smart move so that these restrictions would outlive the terms of city councilors and staff transitions and administration, so that we never forget that one street was on the list as a restricted resident only 1 year, but does not make it to the next. And we also have the flexibility to add or remove streets every year by order or any kind of amendment based on usage pattern. And in addition to just the street list, we had also codified the Universal Steel Lot fundraising for youth organizations in the city. So we allow these organizations to use the city-owned lot to raise money during October. And that's the second piece. And the third piece is to also codify the pilot program for downtown condo residents who are required to buy a parking pass in the Museum Place Mall garage, but are not guaranteed a parking space in the month of October. So we tested this 2 Octobers ago as a pilot for them to pay $125 to have a reserved space on the roof of the garage. That pilot was a success. And we did it again the second year. It was continued to be a success. And this year last year we lowered the rate, and we feel that given the success of the program, we would like to make this permanent. And then finally, we increase the parking fines, violation fines for October to $50 because currently I believe it's 25 for parking violations. So many visitors and tourists would prefer to pay the fine rather than park somewhere where they're allowed to. For example, the surface lots are $30 to park per day, and it's not enough of a distraction for them. So we're making that permanent. So I'll just go through quickly the amendments. There were 2 streets that were slightly amended. Warren Street in particular, last year, the list made it onto the restricted resident-only parking list. And residents had reached out saying that we don't really want to restrict it. We actually like people parking on our street. We don't have a parking problem. So we made it to one side only, northerly side. And the other was Margin Street, which has, perennially we have made the amendment to only restrict the westerly side. But to make it even more clear, we indicated the even number side. And lastly, the final amendment was to include a guest pass for any resident who requests a guest pass. I'll write it down. 1 temporary guest pass shall be issued if requested in accordance with Section 75C, which is the resident parking program. So those are the 3 amendments. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. Anyone else? Seeing none. Does this require, Madam City Clerk, does it require a roll call vote?
Yes, for first passage, it does. Was there any indication that the Halloween resident sticker streets are going to be deleted from Section 75, Councilman Dorr? I'm just trying to read this quickly.
Yes, I believe the first part of the ordinance amendment.
The 2, okay.
Says to delete.
Okay, and you're adding a new section of 17B, creating that, correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
Everyone good? Madam City Clerk, you call the roll.
Councilor Dibble?
Yes.
Councilor Dominguez?
Yes.
Councilor Flynn?
Yes.
Councilor Hapworth?
Yes.
Councilor Madore?
Yes.
Councilor Marcillo?
Yes.
Councilor Prosnewski?
Yes.
Councilor Hardy?
Yes.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes.
Councilor Torio?
Yes.
And Councilor McCarthy?
Yes. On the matter of the resident sticker parking traffic ordinance in section 4275 as regarding to Halloween temporary parking and a whole bunch of other stuff as amended. We have 11 councilors voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. Matter passes. Someone can move to go back to the regular part of the agenda.
So moved.
Back in the regular part of the agenda, which would be on page 14. Under motions, orders, and resolutions, Councilor Hapworth.
Order that the following temporary traffic recommendation, Chapter 42, Section 75, parking.
Waive the reading. Can we just, I believe we just want to put this into committee for now.
Yeah, so I'd move that we send this to committee, ordinances, licenses, and legal affairs.
Councilor Hapworth moves that this matter be referred to the Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs. All those in favor? All those opposed, let the record reflect I saw 10 hands plus my own. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Dominguez and Dibble, who wants to take this one up?
I do. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
City of Salem, City Council, September 10, 2020. Whereas the City of Salem had and continue to have one of the highest unemployment rates throughout the peak of the COVID pandemic, driven in part by the steadily increasing percentages of selling jobs being in the restaurant and service industry, many on which pay lower wage, while the Salem residents lose opportunities for higher paying clean industry jobs. And whereas many Salem residents are distressed by the present local housing crisis, specifically due to an outrage lack of adequate senior housing and shortage on low and middle income affordable housing, rather than prioritizing correction of this shortcoming, City Hall continued to permit and encourage growing numbers of luxury apartments and luxury condos, built in a large part to be occupied by people moving to Salem from Boston and the Boston area seeking lower costing housing when compared to Boston. This activity results directly in the rapid increase of rents in Salem. Salem rents are also being increased to mitigate costs of our over-increasing tax bill. And while luxury apartments hurt our taxes base, clean industry businesses will help stabilize this issue and help keep Salem taxes down and rent down with them. And I will refer to Councilor Divo to read the second part of this order. Thank you.
Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Councilor. Thank you, Mr. President. Ordered that the Committee on Government Services, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, meet with Governor Baker's staff, specifically Secretary Keneally and/or his staff, in the Executive Office of Housing and Economic Development for a workshop Secretary Keneally said he would be happy to provide. This workshop would allow City of Salem staff, city councilors, the mayor, Zoning Board of Appeals members, and Planning Board members to learn of state programs, available technical assistance, and what Secretary Keneally says the tools in the toolbox to educate and assist the City of Salem in two matters, one being jobs and two being housing. I'll take up jobs first. In recruiting clean industry businesses to be located specifically within Salem's Business Park Development, BPD zoned parcels, and within other allowed zones, bringing higher wage jobs to Salem, instead of allowing these properties to be converted into even more luxury apartments, adding still more to the thousands of luxury apartments recently built and planned. Number two, on housing, to promote and assist in the construction of A, senior housing, B, low-income housing, and C, truly affordable middle-income housing that Salem residents are asking for and need. Some Salem residents would choose to reside within these units as the housing would be closer to and within their financial reach. For many seniors, this provides a reliable mechanism to move out of larger unneeded homes, making their homes available for younger families. Be it further ordered that the planning director and the building inspector attend, and that the mayor, Salem Affordable Housing Trust Fund Board, the Zoning Board of Appeals, and the Planning Board members be invited. This is respectfully submitted jointly by both myself and Councilor Dominguez. and I move for adoption.
It says for adoption by roll call vote. Madam City Clerk, do we need a roll call vote on this?
No.
I don't think so. It's not so just move for adoption. Council Dibble and Dominguez move for adoption. Under discussion. Councilor?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. President. Very briefly, this order is a result of what I believe the governor being handed incorrect information when the governor said actually 4 Salem city councilors were stopping 5 to 10 affordable housing initiatives that the mayor had put forth. But it was truly only 3 initiatives that were put forth. The first being the municipal and religious building or the school building reuse. And the wording of that originally was so poorly that it was defeated. And then we corrected the wording and then we voted for that. We supported that afterwards. The second was on the accessory dwelling units. And that's just a bad thing that I'll probably always vote against because it hurts Salem neighborhoods. It could change single-family neighborhoods into 2-family neighborhoods. And then on 2, 3, 4, and 5 unit apartment buildings, it would add another unit there. So that's one thing that I voted against. And then the third was on inclusionary zoning. And had there been some compromise to take out from allowing developers to build 25% more luxury apartments and get a little bit, 10% affordable at a not really affordable rate. But the big thing was on allowing developers to build 25% more luxury apartments. That's something that I could not support. There was no compromise being offered. And unfortunately, we voted against that. And had there been some compromise to take the bonus for the developers out of it so that we don't need even more luxury apartments, I think that would have easily have passed. And I'm hoping that that can be revisited and come back before our council without the bonus for developers to build even more luxury apartments. So I think the governor was misled a little bit on some of his information. The meeting that we had with Secretary Keneally and several members of his staff was phenomenal. And Secretary Keneally is the one who offered to do a program with the city of Salem, key people, including this council, and hopefully all the council and the members that were just listed, the planning director, the building inspector, and our boards and commissions can all attend. He brings a wealth of experience in creating jobs, higher paying jobs. As the good Councilor Dominguez pointed out, the lion's share of our unemployment during COVID, the peak of employment was seen because the lion's share of our jobs in Salem, unfortunately, are in lower paying restaurants and service industries. So let's take our zone properties for business park development and other key portions, key parcels, and let's turn them into higher paying jobs, maybe some senior housing and affordable housing, really truly affordable housing for low income and middle income that we can expand upon it, not something at 10%, at 80%, which winds up being 93% of Salem, and 93 and 100% is just about the same. So what we've been building is not really affordable at all, in my opinion, and the opinion of many others. I believe the good Councilor Dominguez has something else to add in the way of a small amendment to this, and I think he has some words to say as well, so I'll yield. Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilor Dominguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Councilor Debo. Yes, I have a friendly amendment. I think that we left out the SRA to be invited. We have said that friendly amendment to be included in the list of the invited people that need to be in. But I also wanted to add that the meeting with Secretary Keneally was very, very pleasant, very productive. I think that the communications that should be from the first place took place in that meeting. We pointed out very clear that we are here elected by the people and representing the people, in which he understood that very clearly. And I think that the governor office also are in agreement with that. And we also looking forward to continue to cooperate and make sure that we find solution to the issue that affect our residents here in Salem. And this is an effort to do it. So hopefully this great idea of this order can be, embraced by every one of my colleagues, understanding that this is part of what we need here in Salem. We are not opposing any order that will bring some solution. We just wanted to be able to see exactly the real solution, and that's from day one what we try to express. And I think that the governor office are very aware of that. So I want to thank the governor through his secretary, and I also want to thank Councilor Debo, who actually step up and express himself very clearly, on behalf of the people of Salem. So thank you so much.
Anyone else? Councilor Hapworth and Councilor Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to thank Councilor Dominguez and Councilor Dibble for staying in the affordable housing conversation. I think we've got a fresh start here, hopefully, and hopefully we can have some productive conversations around, based in fact and reality, around affordable housing. I think that I have issues with the way this is written, both in the way it sort of talks about employment in the city of Salem and our service industry and restaurant jobs. I have some issues around just the factualness of new construction causing rents to go up. I think that each study that I've looked at that has been done on this has shown that it's vacancy that causes rents to go up or down. It's not the construction of new homes anywhere. And I would just ask that. I mean, I have no issues having a conversation, and I think it's a smart and a good place to start. But I would ask that we go into that rather than airing grievances about what the governor may have said or about what we think about affordable housing or what our own personal opinions are around affordable housing. Go into it with an open mind and be willing to ask questions. Because I think we haven't done enough of that in the last few years or so. This is a conversation that's ongoing. It's been happening for a very, very long time. Again, I have no issues having the conversation with Secretary Keneally, but I would ask that my colleagues go into this with an open mind and understand that we're not building. The state isn't going to step in and build affordable housing. This is going to happen probably through private development for the most part. And what we have to look at is how do we leverage what a developer's own private interests and shift them toward the public good. Because that's what I think, I think that some of our goals have been over these last couple of years is how do we move developers and take their private interests and make them benefit the community, and what levers can we pull there? And each time we try to pull that lever, we've had difficulty getting there. So again, I just ask my colleagues to walk into this with an open mind, and hopefully we can get something done around senior housing, around affordable housing. I'm all in on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also appreciate the continued engagement from my colleagues around affordable housing, and I don't think it requires a resolution from this body to continue that dialogue, especially from state officials or even officials from the federal level. We just approved an application to the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development for more than $1 million to help us with affordable housing. We could have provided our feedback to the 5-year consolidated plan, which is required as part of that funding request to say, what kind of housing do we want to build? That's where the dialogue could happen as well. We have tools currently before us. And I cannot support this resolution because of the language, specific language in the way this is written. First of all, I think the rising unemployment rate is not because of the types of jobs in the city. And I think one could argue that the restaurant and service industry and retail industry workers in our city are one of the hardest working people in our city. And they are essential and frontline. They are taking on a lot of risk to feed us, to sell us the goods that we need. So to say that the unemployment rate is rising because of their types of jobs, the types of jobs that they choose to be employed in, I think that I think that's offensive. I think the unemployment rate is caused by a global pandemic that none of us have a control over, and not because of the type of employment we choose. So with that first paragraph, I just want to stand up for our restaurant industry workers, because I mean, they're restaurant workers that have been tested positive while serving food, even as recently as the last few days. So to say the unemployment rate is because of them, because of what they do, I think that is not fair. I also think we had an opportunity to act on senior housing. The accessory dwelling unit is one of the best practices from the AARP that advocate for seniors. They feel that that's a best practice for communities to adopt as a housing policy so that seniors can continue to live in their own community. And the ADU proposal that failed recently actually requires the homeowner be a Salem resident. We are empowering our own Salem seniors to expand their homes, to maybe move in a smaller unit, to allow their grandchildren or their children who want to start families in Salem to come back and live here. And those families could be coming from Boston. What is wrong with having people move from Boston to Salem? They have ties to Salem residents as well. I find that language very problematic. And if we replace the word Boston with another community, would that make it okay? I don't think so. I think this is a very xenophobic way of saying we don't want anybody to move to Salem. And I think that we cannot say that if we're continue to say that we're a welcoming community. So I find that language very problematic. And these tools in the toolbox, Secretary Keneally has not made it a secret of what these tools in the toolbox are. He has toured the entire Commonwealth promoting housing choice, promoting the types of tools that are encouraged in the Housing Choice Initiative, including ADUs, including inclusionary zoning, including multifamily zoning by right near transit stations. These are not a secret. He says he has actually come to Salem to say the same things many times. And I think it's great that we could have a conversation with him to continue to educate ourselves. But then again, it does not require resolution to have that dialogue. And I also find it problematic that we are asking a state official to tell us the same things that our own staff in City Hall have been telling us for almost 2 years. These staff are paid with our taxpayers' money to do the research in the community's best interest. They have been telling us about these tools in the toolbox. They have been showing us data. They have been coming to all these night meetings and answering all of our questions, being on call with any questions at any time. And I think that it really discounts the level of dedication and commitment the staff had committed to this type of housing policy work than to say that we are going to discount their effort and invite the secretary to come tell us what to do. And I wonder if the secretary does come and say, well, I think the best way to encourage more affordable housing is to adopt ADUs and inclusionary zoning. Is that the time that we will act? Because we've had that chance. And so if we don't do that, even after his advice, then I wonder what the next steps are. And this notion of developers cannot build more luxury condos or any kind of luxury housing. Again, I have to reiterate what I said months ago. If you have a home that you love, thank a developer. If developers are not building housing, then who is? A developer could be my next door neighbor who wants to expand their home. A developer could be a business owner, a Salem business owner who wants to build an addition or additional floor on their property. Those are developers too. We need to find ways to encourage small-scale developers, empower them. And one way is to adopt policy that will empower them and facilitate these types of developments. And sometimes we need the bigger developers too. We need all types of developers. But to say that we cannot allow developers to make more money, then I wonder who is going to build any housing. And earlier, there are discussions about the SRA not requiring affordable housing on these publicly owned properties that are about to be RP'd out to these big developers. We also had the opportunity to require it just as recently as the spring. through inclusionary zoning. We could have required it. And if we want to talk about compromise, I welcome my colleagues to refile the inclusionary zoning ordinance. Tell us what you would like to see. I think this question has been brought up several times to say, what is it would you like to see? What will get you to a yes? We have not had a definitive answer. So I think we need to act and not file resolutions to have conversations, because those conversations can happen at any time. And if the Committee on Government Services does get, if this does get adopted and Secretary Keneally does come to have that dialogue, I will happily join. But I would be surprised if he says anything different than what we've put ourselves through over the last 2 years. I'll rest there. Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilor Masillo, then Councilor Dominguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have to agree with my two fellow councilors that have already spoken. I welcome any further conversation in this area, and I welcome a workshop from Secretary Keneally. I think it's a great step in the right direction. I do have a lot of issues with the way this was written. I first ask why it's written as a resolution instead of just an order to send this issue to the committee. I also wonder why it's going to government services instead of economic development, but that's something else. The first paragraph I'm really troubled with. You seem to be putting the burden of not having what you're considering higher paying clean industry jobs directly on restaurant workers. And I just do not get that connection at all. Our biggest employer is the North Shore Medical Center. There's no conversation in this whole resolution about the great jobs that we have there. Our largest employer. So I'm a little troubled by this. I think it's really insulting to our restaurant industry in Salem. We have restaurant owners that are trying to survive right now. We have restaurant workers that are trying to make ends meet. We have college students that are working their way through college because of their restaurant jobs. And this is a very classist statement, in my opinion. I would like to make a friendly amendment to this that we strike that first paragraph completely. It's not anything that's necessary for this meeting to occur with Secretary Keneally. In the second paragraph, I think it's really badly written. I think that there's factual errors in there. And I would also ask that be stricken, because really what you're asking for is a meeting. So let's just get down to the nitty gritty and talk about the meeting with Secretary Keneally about jobs and housing. I'm all for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Dominguez, then Councilor Riccardi.
Thank you, Mr. President. I actually wanted to agree and disagree on some of the comments of my two previous colleagues. There are things that are not really fact. When you hear the unemployment rate nationwide to be up and hitting the most impacted communities, it's because the economic mentality on the whole region are not being addressed in a proper way. We have to understand that even we don't want to admit or not, Salem economic is based only on restaurants. It's about time that we learn from our mistake and start to do things that change the dynamic. And that's basically why we mentioned that we need to make a change so we can make sure when we have another crisis, we might be next, we don't know when, we are not impacting the most vulnerable one. That's basically why we see a lot of unemployment rate. I don't think that we see the unemployment rate the same in other communities. Salem need to address those issues. Secondly, and that's not an offense to any industry, it's just administration, planning, and I think that we need to do better than that. And that's basically what we're addressing on that comment. We're not addressing we're not blaming any industry. We are saying we need to overlook at it in a different way, in a way that we are not being impacted the way we are impacted right now. Secondly, when we mention Governor Baker, I'm very happy to bring some history. We need to understand that this is two-way. who bring the governor office into our discussion here locally? Wasn't us. Mainly become that right after we met one day, we hear in the news, statewide, our governor pointed out to 4 councilors who actually want to do the best that they can do to represent the people who elected them. So the question of the governor to be into this conversation is not brought up by us. That's why we met with the governor office. And as a resolution, we understood that this is the best approach that we can have. Let's hear from them, or let they bring their home so they can hear from us, directly from us. And we're going to tell exactly how it is. So this is a conversation. This is a two-way conversation. Now, because the question is changing, we're saying that we can independently create our own conversation. I understand that. I'm in disagreement with that. The other topic that I feel that we need to address on this is that we are not against any resident from Boston or anywhere to live in Salem. I came from New Jersey 25 years ago. I have relatives living here. I have a lot of people living here. We welcome everybody. We have need, we have necessity here. We have people who live in here who pay their share for many years, paying taxes, highly taxes, and now they're being forced to move out because they cannot afford to live here. If we create any solution, we need to understand that we need to feed those people first. And then we're going to talk about anyone who comes next. We are not discriminating against. What we're saying here is that let's create something that feeds the need of what we have here, and then we continue to create more housing. Thirdly, and I almost finished. I hear this, and I want it to be very, very clear. The developers, which can be anyone, it can be my neighbors, can be anyone. They are in here for business. When you have a business, I used to own a business for 15 years. You have to thank whoever bring the products, but you also have to thank whoever buy you, the customers. And I feel it's a two-way. The developer had to thank us who actually make it a city attractive to them to they come invest. So when you say, when my colleague mentioned that we need to thank the developer, I say the same thing. The developer had to thank us. And because of that, we don't have to permit that the developer take over without any regulation or without any balance. That's what we're asking in this conversation. We want it balance. That's all we ask. We don't ask anyone to invest their money and lose money. No, we ask if you want something, we want to see something too. Balance. Make sure that we have a good balance, because that's what was elected for, to represent the people who are not here presently. If we are advocating only for one side, we're in the wrong business. We have to advocate for both sides. Finally, I wanted to let you know that this is a resolution that the only intention is to bring a conversation to be open. We just hear before this one, a resolution from Councilor Harper, which we don't hear no opposition. It was nice. It was even, some of my colleagues say, a weighted reading, no problem, let's approve it, boom, fine. Now it's coming from maybe myself and Councilor Bibo. We had to question the language. We had to make argument in which I thought when we presented this, it was supposed to be going to committee, and let's discuss it in committee and then come out with something that's going to make the consensus of who we are. Might be I'm in agreement that might be some of the language might not be the right one. That's why we send it to committee. Let's work in the committee with the committee of the whole, not only the government committee, the committee of the whole, in which everyone have a say to say where we're supposed to work every matter that comes in front of us. I'm going to leave it that way. I just want to thank you. Sorry.
Councilor Riccardi, you have your hand up.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I would just like to thank my fellow colleagues who also made comments, specifically around the resolution and the wording regarding workers in the restaurant and service industry. As someone who half of our family income comes from the restaurant and service industry, as someone who is directly affected by the pandemic belonging to the restaurant and service industry, I started reading this and was immediately turned off. It just, that entire first paragraph, I don't understand how that is a respectful way to start a conversation, a respectful conversation. And also, I'll just comment that my day job is one that would be classified as clean industry, and it is currently closing the office because of the pandemic that is happening. So it's not our hardworking residents that we have in Salem. It's not due to what industry they chose or our income, economic background that we have here. We're in a global pandemic. And I just would like to say thank you to my fellow colleagues for that comment. I also agree with the other comments around the language that is in here. I guess I'll use my newbie comment again that I'm still learning is why is this a resolution? Why can't we just order to have those conversations? If you'd like to have Secretary Keneally come and do a presentation, I totally support that, and I think that's a great idea. But I also think we need to do that without, or with the consideration and with the acknowledgement that that is what the city has been doing for the past few years. And we can't go into those conversations saying we are not going to agree with ADUs, which is what my fellow counselor has said earlier. It just doesn't start a full respectful conversation already having that stopgap in there. And with that, that's all I wanted to mention tonight. Thank you.
Councilor Turiel, then Councilor Kwasniewski.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just took me a second to unmute. I apologize. What I'll just say really simply and quickly is that the idea of having a conversation with the state and actually bringing their expertise in to make some of these things clear to us is not a bad idea at all. But I will say in particular, my colleagues from wards 3 and 6 have expressed my feelings on those first two paragraphs far better than I myself could. And I completely agree with them. A resolution that could, in the form of a resolution as opposed to simply an order to collaborate, I cannot support a resolution with this sort of language in one bit whatsoever. I find it very off-putting. I find it very insulting to the nature of this city and to many of the people of this city. And I just, that's not something I can go for. If you strike that language, I am fine with the simple order to put it into committee for that discussion, but otherwise I cannot support this at all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Kwasniewski.
Thank you, Mr. President. Anything that would help bring us to come to a consensus on the affordable housing issues that have been going on for a lot longer since before I was elected would help. So I'm actually going to tip my hat to Councilors Dibble and Dominguez for opening a door with a good idea to invite the governor's staff to speak with us and probably get us all together and maybe somehow funnel us on the same page to be able to come to some kind of a consensus and agreement so that we can finally move forward in a positive direction. I too think that the language in this order isn't adequate. I think it's a lot of assumptions and speculations, and I don't see any data or any evidence to support what was said in it. But that is minor compared to the fact that Councilors Dibble and Councilor Dominguez have given us an avenue in which we may be able to take advantage and come together on the same page. So with that, I would like to see us progress in that direction and get a meeting with the governor's staff to move forward. Thank you.
Anyone else? Councilor Hapworth and Councilor Sargent.
Thank you, Mr. President. I guess also playing the newbie card. Just curious if through you, if my colleagues would be amenable to making this an order rather than a resolution. I also, I'm not going to say no to a conversation around affordability, no matter who it's with. I have issues tying the city council's name or the city council's approval to a resolution. with factual errors and opinions, and just it seems wholly inappropriate to pass a resolution with that language in there. But I think the goal of this, I think, is to get us together to talk. And I think that if Councilor Dominguez and Councilor Dibble are willing to make this, I don't know if this is possible in this meeting. I'm not sure how this operationally would work, but I would love to see this as an order, and I'm happy to start things off on that conversation and maybe approach this from a different perspective. But I would just open it up to my colleagues, see if they'd be willing to remove this as a resolution and refile it as an order. Thank you, Mr. President.
Council Sergeant.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't quite read at least the first paragraph the same way. I mean, if you look at the history of it, we have worked hard to bring more restaurant-type jobs into Salem by virtue of promoting home rule petitions to get liquor licenses for extra businesses, extra restaurants, and that's nobody's fault. That brought a lot of, it revitalized a lot of our downtown. In some ways, I was calling it Hanover Square at the beginning, like Hanover Street in the North End. There's a lot of restaurant workers in the North End. Nobody is disparaging them whatsoever. Actually, I think it's very respectful of them. We worked hard to bring that kind of job to Salem. But who knew there was going to be a pandemic? Nobody could have foreseen that. Nobody had a crystal ball. And what I believe this first paragraph is getting at is because we've created these circumstances to bring in a lot of these jobs, there's more unemployment because we have more of those jobs with the pandemic. And so I think that, I don't think it's disparaging restaurant workers at all. To the contrary, I think it's trying to help them, just recognizing that we have a lot of restaurant workers in Salem. In the second paragraph, I'm reading parts of it, and I'm seeing that we have taken some of our areas where we could build businesses, like the NRCC. It was supposed to be out for a lot of light medical type businesses. We worked hard on North River Canal Corridor. A team of citizens worked a year to put that together, and we've built very little business along there. It's been mostly high-end housing and condos and those kind of things. And I believe what Councilor Dibble and Dominguez are getting at is that if we were to make some of those areas businesses, it'd be business jobs as it is zoned for, and there'd be more of a diversity in the way you can make your income in Salem. So I don't read disparaging things into those first two paragraphs. I think they're trying to be helpful. And I know there's talk about Secretary Kennelly coming to Salem and knowing about Salem, but if you read some of the articles you've seen in the paper and some of the things that have been said about a certain four councilors, I don't believe the Secretary would really understand that Salem is one of the best cities in the state at providing affordable housing, and we're always trying to get better. But I don't believe he would know that we've got about 50% rentals, that we're 12.5% affordable. We're 15th best in the state out of 351 cities and towns. I don't think he knows those kind of facts. And I think if somebody knew that, they wouldn't be coming after us so hard for trying to see through some of these things the way we do. Nobody's against affordable housing. We're just trying to find ways to make it work in a city that has a lot of traffic and a lot of congestion. We're trying to please all of our citizens, not just some of them. So I'll yield with that, and I would support the resolution as it is. Thank you.
Council Dibble.
Thank you, Mr. President. First off, I want to thank actually all the councils, but in particular Councilor Hapworth and Councilor Prosnewski, and just now Councilor Sargent for their comments. So yes, as always, I tackle things with an open mind, directed to Councilor Hapworth, and I look forward to having an open-minded meeting for this. There's nothing in here that's insulting to restaurant workers. I have dozens of friends that are restaurant workers. I worked in restaurants all growing up through college. I have no trouble at all saying so. This first paragraph is being misread. And the intent of it is to point out that Salem still has one of the highest unemployment rates in Massachusetts, and Massachusetts has one of the highest unemployment rates in the country. And the lion's share of our jobs in Salem happen to be in the service and restaurant, mostly in the service industries. But if we had higher paying jobs at clean industry, there's a good chance that those workers may not have been laid off or closed or fired or whatever you want to call it. A lot of different words are being used. So there's nothing insulted in that at all. Insofar as insulting the staff, as one of my fellow councilors just said, the city staff, there's no intent and no insult to the staff at all. I worked for the city of Salem in the planning department for 14 years in the 1980s and 1990s, and a lot of my friends, not just a couple, but dozens and dozens of my friends still work at City Hall. And I would never insult our staff, whether they're new or been there for decades. Doesn't matter. There's nothing insulting in this at all. This is not a resolution that's submitted to us tonight. It is an actual order. An order is the mechanism that this city council needs to use in order to introduce something to the council so we can schedule a meeting. There's no other way to do it. I can't go out and arbitrarily schedule a meeting and ask all of you to attend. It's not the way the council works. We do it through an order. It's going to committee. The committee may or may not schedule, most likely will schedule a meeting, hopefully immediately, with all the parties that were listed, and we'll have a very productive meeting, as Councilor Dominguez and I had with Secretary Keneally and his staff, with the governor's staff. It was a phenomenal meeting. We talked, nobody badmouthed anybody, nobody complained about restaurant workers, nobody complained about what the mayor may or may not have done, what Salem might have done wrong, what our workers might have done wrong, what our restaurant workers earn, nothing like that. It was a very productive and positive, open-minded meeting. And as a result of it, Secretary Keneally and his staff offered to come to Salem and do a workshop for all of us together. And as Councilor Hapworth indicated and Councilor Prosnewski indicated, that's a great thing for Salem. Who would not want this? So this is not insulting to anybody. This is intended to help the city of Salem by getting more and better, higher paying jobs and developing ways of creating senior housing and truly affordable housing for low income and middle income residents of Salem. I'm amazed that we're at this discussion of this, because and frankly, I think this is a great opportunity that we should all be welcoming and taking advantage of. It's simply an order. There's no resolution here. You don't have to agree or not to it. If you're voting for this, you'd be voting to schedule a meeting with all these parties to meet with Secretary Keneally's office. You don't have to agree or disagree with the comments that we read at the beginning. Those are not part of the order. If you read the order, it is clearly talks about jobs, higher paying jobs, and housing for seniors, housing for low income, and housing for middle income people that's truly affordable and needed in Salem. Mr. President, I'm amazed that this has taken so long. I thought this would be welcomed by all 11 of us, and I'm not sure if we're even going to get a successful vote to allow this to go forward. But I encourage each one of my councilors, my fellow councilors, to vote in favor of this, because this order is quite clear that it's the mechanism that will allow the meeting with the Secretary's office and all the different departments to go forward. We have not had a meeting like this, I don't think, in decades. And it's a great opportunity, as Councilor Hapworth said, to get everybody on the same page. So I will be supporting this. I helped write this with Councilor Dominguez, and I hopefully all of my fellow councilors will vote to support this too, because it's not a resolution. You're not confirming the facts that were read or presented or are talked about here. All that you're voting for in this order is cited on here, which allows for the scheduling of a meeting with the city council and the other entities that were listed. You don't have to support anything in the first paragraphs, because that's not part of the order. The order is quite clear. It's to schedule a meeting that will help the city of Salem. Now, I ask my fellow councilors, do you really want to help the city of Salem help the city of Salem? Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. I'm going to speak. Council, that's not fair. If it's an order, then remove the first two paragraphs. An order starts with an order. An order doesn't start with a whereas. So if it's not part of the order, then why is it there? Because, I mean, I agree. You're being a little, if you read the articles most recently about, you touched on it, about Massachusetts, and it relies heavily on the medical industry, the tourism industry, and the hospitality industry. That's why its unemployment rate is higher than most other states. But If you want to be totally honest with yourself in the city of Salem, then all you have to do is sit there on your computer right now and do a Google search of the Salem, Massachusetts unemployment rate. Salem, Massachusetts unemployment rate in December was 2.8%. We were at one of the lowest unemployment rates in the city, in the state, and we traditionally have been. Why? Because we have a thriving community and people want to live here. Hence, as Councilor Hapworth alluded to, when there isn't availability, rents go up. Look at what's happening in Boston right now. The kids aren't coming back to college. So what's happening in Boston? The rents are dropping. Why? Because there is availability and because there is competition, so therefore they're dropping. So all the first two paragraphs, if they're not part of an order and it's going to be contentious, I would suggest you just drop them and then just make it be the order that you want, as opposed to making some sort of statement about what is wrong with Salem prior to ordering and having a meeting with the governor's office. Because up until the pandemic, no one was complaining about the unemployment rate. No one was complaining about the types of jobs. And if you talk to any restaurant owner, as you alluded to, you have friends in the restaurant business, you'd find out that the restaurants are having trouble finding employees because there wasn't enough people to work in the restaurants. That's why our employment rate was so low. So we could sit here and argue all night about the merits of this. I'm not opposed to having a meeting, but simply if you want this to go right to a meeting as you intended, simply remove the first two paragraphs. Everyone will vote 11-0, and then we'll just move on to the next item. Because right now we're going to just keep batting this around about what is wrong with the first two paragraphs. And I could go on for a lot longer if I wanted to about what's wrong with the first two paragraphs. That being said, anyone else? Councilor Riccardi.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be really brief. That was really kind of my question is what, if it's an order, why do we need to have those whereases and can we easily remove them? I understand that your intent was not insulting, but I'd like you to hear that it comes off as insulting to a member that is very close to the restaurant industry. When you say I am looking for better, higher paying jobs, that puts the other industry at a lower level and makes us feel inferior. And that is not fair and that's not right. And I think striking those two is an easy compromise if we could do that, because I fully support having this conversation. I have been part of many conversations and I'd like to continue them. And I think this is a great idea because, as you mentioned, the other items that we've tried have not passed. So what can we do? And if this is what we need to do to continue those conversations, to get everybody in the room together again and start over, I fully support that. But I do not support that with insulting a portion of our population.
Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't read and I help write those first two paragraphs. I don't see them, as I said, as insulting at all. What we've been building in Salem for a long time now, the majority of what we're building is and encouraging and promoting is luxury apartments, thousands of them, and there's many, many more under discussion and on the way, being built now and in the planning stages, including big ones off of Barnes Road and Highland Avenue, scattered around the city. We're beginning talks about losing more jobs at Shetland Park and creating more luxury apartments down at Shetland. And several other places around the city. We have Salem State South Campus, and the discussion about that being redeveloped has not really started yet. It's just beginning. So in an effort to speed this up, if it's the will of the body or the desire of several of my coworkers, fellow councilors rather, to strike those first two paragraphs where they're not part of the order at all, the two paragraphs say whereas, I move that they be stricken, and I'd recommend that we get on with tonight's business and that we pass this order, and then we all 11 of us attend this meeting with our other housing experts from all around the city and hear what Secretary Keneally has to say. And then we have a brainstorming session with Secretary Keneally and see if we can all truly get on the same page and move Salem forward with better paying jobs in industry on our business park development, which is the intent of this, and building senior housing, finding ways to do that because it's much needed, and building truly affordable housing for our low and middle income residents. So I move that the first two paragraphs starting with whereas and then the second paragraph with whereas be stricken out of this. And I move for adoption of this order by roll call vote. Thank you, Mr. President.
Do I have a
I'll second his motion that be stricken.
Councilor Dibble moves to strike the first two paragraphs, seconded by Councilor Turiel. If I see a show of hands before we take the roll call vote on striking the first two paragraphs. I have 10 members vote, 9 plus myself, and Councilor Dominguez is not voting in favor of striking the first two. So the first two paragraphs have now been stricken. On Councilor Dibble's motion that this matter be adopted by roll call vote, Madam City Clerk, please call roll.
Councilor Dibble?
Yes.
Councilor Dominguez?
Yes.
Councilor Flynn?
Yes.
Councilor Hapworth?
Yes.
Councilor Madore?
Yes.
Councilor Morcillo?
Yes.
Councilor Prosnowski?
Yes.
Councilor Riccardi?
Yes.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes.
Councilor Turiel?
Yes.
And Councilor McCarthy?
Yes. On the order that this matter be referred to the Committee on Government Services Co-Posted Committee of the Whole. We have 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. Matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Flynn.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, September 10th, 2020, ordered that the Italian flag be displayed at Raleigh Plaza for the month of October in honor of Italian American Heritage and Culture Month, and that the mayor transmit this order to the appropriate department pursuant of Chapter 2, Section 145, ordering display of flags. And I move for adoption by roll call vote.
Councilor Flynn moves for adoption by roll call vote. On a discussion, Councilor Flynn.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is something that we did last year. The month of October is the Italian American Heritage Culture Month. It's observed by our country, and it's a celebration of, the Italian Americans' contribution to Salem. And a lot of people really liked that last year, and a lot of people were appreciated that the Italian American culture and was recognized by our city during the month that recognizes this. So thank you very much. I appreciate that this happened last year, and I'm hoping we can observe it again this year. Thank you.
Councilor, before I open up to any other questions, can you refresh my memory, Councilor Flynn? I know you brought this in last year. Didn't we amend it somehow? It wasn't for the entire month of having the flags up. And I believe that I received a phone call or a text message from former Councilor Cacciato that the month of October overlaps with the Dominican flag raising, so that actually the Dominican flags came down in order to put up the Italian. So I don't want to create a controversy about whose flag should be flying during what part of the month. So if you could refresh my memory, how did we amend this last year in order to accommodate?
We amended it last time. So there was no wording with Columbus Day in it. Several people did not want any mention of Columbus Day. So we did take that out. And I believe, I don't have the order in front of me from last year, but I believe it was the first 2 weeks maybe. And there was no order for any other recommendation for any other flags. This was the only order that I knew of in October. I'd never seen another one come in. So if we want to continue to do it for the first week or two, then if someone wants to bring in another order for the Dominican flag for the other 2 weeks, that would be fine with me. That's by the will of the body if they'd like to do that. Thank you.
Councilor Dominguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. I feel that maybe it's a confusion on Dominican Independence Day is on February 27th. I think that what Lucy's, the former councilor, is referring is to maybe Heritage Month.
Could be.
We usually have something going on over there. But just to clarify, Dominican Independence is going to be on February 27th. So I understand that. I remember that last year what happened was the same thing that the good councilor friend just mentioned. We just leave the next 2 months to have it for the Heritage Month. And I think they put it down too quickly. So make sure that each one of them give the exact time so we don't have that conflict anymore. Thank you.
Thank you for correcting me. I couldn't remember. I just remembered seeing, when I saw this order, I just remember that Councilor Cacciato had reached out to me about the order, and it may very well could be it's the Heritage Month, and I don't know what month, I don't know how what the weeks span on that. I just don't want the two conflicting. I mean, obviously, if the intent is not to have if we don't need to have the Italian flag up for the entire month, if the Heritage Month is the first 2 weeks and the Italian is the last two, it doesn't matter to me. I just want to make sure that we're not taking another flag down before it's completed. It's what it was intended to have out there. Because I believe last year it was taken down probably after like a couple days or maybe a week. So I don't recall. So I'll leave that. I guess if someone wants to make a motion, maybe leave that up to the mayor's office or somebody to coordinate which ones get put up when, so they don't conflict. Councilor Dominguez.
So move. I make a motion to the mayor office coordinate with Councilor Flynn and the organizer of the other organization to make sure that there's no overlap. Thank you.
You accept that, Councilor Flynn?
Yes, that would be great. I don't want to offend anyone. And if, like I said, if two different cultures share October, that would be great to split the time up for our city. Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Councilor Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think in Salem, we're really proud to say that we celebrate all cultures, and we don't need flag raising to reaffirm that. I definitely feel like I walk out the door and I see folks of all cultures speaking different languages in downtown. And I also know that the history of October and the Italian heritage has an association with Columbus. And if we choose to raise a flag, an Italian flag in October, that would still signal that we're ignoring the pain of the indigenous people who have said repeatedly that October is a reminder of Columbus Day. And there's a history behind why Columbus Day is that Italian Heritage Month is selected to be celebrated in October. It was an act of Congress back in 1989. And back in 1989, perhaps there are different ways framing that is no longer appropriate in 2020. So we really need to not dismiss some of the concerns that we've heard before from the indigenous people's community. And former Councilor Gerard had sent an email to this body earlier today to suggest that we celebrate Italian heritage on two other very appropriate days, one of which is Liberation Day, and the other, I forget what it is, Republic Day. And I think those dates are in complete separation of October, and we just had a discussion about overlap. So this would completely address the overlap issue. And I think those are very appropriate alternative dates to raise the Italian flag. And I think all of us can trace our family, whether by marriage or by place of origin, to an Italian. Myself, I have cousins who have parents who were born in Italy, and I have Eremitas in my family. So I think we all want to celebrate, but without dismissing the concerns and the pain that the community from the indigenous community have raised before. So I like to make a friendly amendment to change to either June 2nd or April 25th to raise the Italian flag. And I'll be there for it. Thank you.
Yep. Councilor Flynn and Councilor Dibble.
Thank you. I'd have to strongly disagree with the Ward 2 councilor. I as I said before, this is a day Italian Americans, they look forward to that month. No mention of Columbus is in this order. And this is something, like I said, we can't just throw away that the month of October is the Italian American Heritage and Culture Month. We fly all kinds of flags in Salem, and I think it's great. We honor everyone, whoever puts a request in. I think it'd be a disservice to the Italian community if we just pick those other dates. It is meant for the month of October, so I'd have to disagree with that friendly amendment. Thank you.
Council Dibble and Council Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have to agree with Councilor Flynn, and I thank him for bringing this forward. Until such time that the federal government decides to switch their Italian Heritage Month that they voted on 3 decades ago, as the good Ward 2 councilor just pointed out, we should be putting the Italian flag up when it is actually Italian Heritage Month. So if we wanted to move, if the federal government wanted moving that at the request of the Italians in America and moved it to February or March, whatever date, then that's perhaps when we should fly the flag then. But right now, October is Italian Heritage Month, and if we want to share it with a Dominican or anybody else that's appropriate, and that's their holiday, if you would, then that's fine. I know that flying the Italian flag down at Riley Plaza in front of the post office would mean so much to a huge number of Italian heritage residents of the city of Salem. That area right there, High Street, had not just High Street, that whole neighborhood had so many Italians decades ago. They still do. There's a lot of Italians living in that area, not just there, but throughout the city of Salem. Mayor Salvo lived right back behind there. He would be proud that Councilor Flynn is bringing this. I'm sorry, let me clarify. Mayor Salvo, who is my friend, would be proud of Councilor Flynn for bringing this forward, and he would stand there and he would help raise the Italian flag. So I'll be voting in support of the Italians that live in Salem and raising the flag during Italian Heritage Month. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Council Turiel and Council Masil. Council Turiel, you're muted.
Sorry about that. I've gotten fondly accustomed to not speaking during the meeting so far. My position on this is I have an issue with this being done for an entire month. And I do think that Columbus Day is something that has become problematic, and I have issues there as well. But the biggest thing that I want to bring up from last year is that when we did this last year, one of the issues that we had was that we had it wasn't Dominican, it was Hispanic Heritage Month, where we were flying all the flags of the region there. And that is normally scheduled to run from the middle of September until the middle of October. And it's multiple nations whose flags we fly. And they were taken down early in order to fly the Italian flags, and that caused some problems. And so I would say that ultimately the flag display is handled by the mayor and by Kim Emmerling. But I don't think this would be a problem if the flags were flown at the conclusion of Hispanic Heritage Month, which is approximately October 15th. And then from there through the end of the month, if that's what they want to do, that's fine. I'm not fond of one nation, flying one thing other than American flags for the entire month of, or one nation's flags other than our own for an entire month. So that would be how I'd like to do this.
Thank you, Council Masillo.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think I just want to chime in here and say you're causing a little bit of friction in my household, Councillor Flynn. I'm Irish. We got 3 days with the flag. My husband is Italian and he's getting a month. What's going on here? March is Irish American Heritage Month, and you brought in a motion for an order for 3 days. So my only question is, how do we decide this stuff as a body? It feels like it's kind of a hodgepodge thing going on here, where somebody gets 1 day, somebody gets a month, somebody gets 3 days. It's all I just don't understand why the city council is deciding this stuff. If we cannot change the fact that October is National Italian American Month, Heritage Month, and it's fine to fly a flag. I think it needs to be up for a couple of days. But somehow we need to figure out this, how long you fly the flag for. Thank you.
Councilor Riccardi, then Councilor Dominguez, and then Councilor Hapworth.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be brief, and I have to share after Councilor Marsilio's comments. I saw this order and I reached out to my favorite Italian American, which is my mother, Nonna, and I said, what do you consider, an Italian American holiday or cultural month? And she said to me, are you crazy? Every month is Italian Appreciation Month. So it's, one extreme or the other, but it really got me thinking and looking and researching into this. Like growing up in an Italian American family, maybe I was born before '89, so I never was aware of this month and this appreciation holiday. There were, the All Saints Days or Day of the Dead or the Saint celebration, going to the North End. I think it's like the whole month of September, there's, big celebrations for the various saints, and in March. So I'm just really curious as to how the date and the month, I think from the conversations last year, I did learn a lot as to how it did come to that. And that's the part that I'm uncomfortable with. But another point that was just brought up is how are these even determined, and why are we, having these conversations? And it seems interesting to me to have these on the floor here. And I'm wondering, do they need to go to a committee? How do we really hash this out, but not hash it out here on the council floor? But I definitely agree. I don't think the flag raising should be the whole month. It sounds like there's a lot of complications there with the other flag raising that we'll be doing. We shouldn't be raising it for the whole month. I definitely don't think we should be raising it before the 15th of October, because there should not be any connection there. But I just wanted to share that comment that every month is Italian American Appreciation Month. Thank you.
Councilor Dominguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have to agree with many of the comments, and I want to thank Councilor Flynn. But I wanted to express that we need to be open when it comes to celebration. I feel that sometimes we celebrate who we think is the best and who we think have some issue we don't want to celebrate. The fact that any history or any member of my community make a mistake doesn't disqualify me as a community to celebrate my birthday or to celebrate whatever action that I have. Celebrate my birthday or any occasion in my life cannot be conditional of any interpretation or any other family, other members, and that's what we're doing here. We actually want condition one community because we hear from history so negative that any given member of the community make in the past, and we wanted to qualify. And I think that that's something we've seen so many times in the United States, in Salem. We say we're a diversity community. When it comes to celebrate, we are not really up to. We look for the mistake that community have in order to disqualify. I'm in complete disagreement to change any of the day that's supposed to be for celebration in any given community. They celebrate, the Italian Americans celebrate their history in the month of October. Now we know we have a conflict with other community in which I'm part of. We're willing to work on it, and I think the council president expressed, and I submit a amendment in which was very clear, and I think that the good council of work for Tim Flynn accepted. Let's move forward, let's celebrate, let's bring exactly who we are here in Salem. We are from different communities. Let's put apart what are the difference, and let's make it happen. Let's celebrate the same way we celebrate the Dominican community. Let's celebrate with the American Italian. Let's celebrate with the Irish. Let's celebrate let's have everyone have the same opportunity to celebrate, and let's be open. I don't feel that, and I hear that so many times, and I feel that that's basically what is making so hard in some other community when it comes to my turn. I'm going to show my mistake, I'm going to show my disqualification, and people are going to start pointing out. It's about time that we pointed out the positive. That community has been contributed to Salem for so many years. It's about time that we celebrate. Let's all be happy and let's celebrate. Let's make let's have the mayor office to do the schedule, so to see how it's going to fit on. Councilor Flynn is willing to work with the administration, so let's do it. Let's do it. So I understand that we might have some concern on whatever it is, but it's about time that we put our difference outside and we do what we have to do, and that's what we see. Nationwide difference because I look this way, because I speak this way, because you people made that mistake, because you're doing that, because you're too loud. You're going to be to wait for you to stay there, and we decided what we need to do. It's about time that we break that rule. That's mentality. Start working openly. We are the United States of America. We are people here who welcome everybody. Let's speak out, but let's work on practice. Let's do it the way it's supposed to be. Thank you.
Councilor Hapworth. Then Councilor Flynn.
I'll be pretty brief. I think just to summarize what we're all saying here, it may sound like we're arguing. I think most of this is, I think we're in a pretty good place as far as agreement. I think that we're going to recognize Italian American heritage this month in October and potentially have a conversation down the line about what that should look like in the future. I think that leaving it open to the mayor's office, if there's a Hispanic Heritage Month happening, that we don't have overlap and that flags aren't taken down prematurely. I think that's a reasonable place to be. I think removing Columbus's name from this day, I think, is an important place to be. Also, I think if you look at the history of this day, if you go back, 120 years or 100 years, there was a lot of racism against Italian Americans in this country, and they at the time they looked to something to hang their hats on to say, look, we're Americans too. We've got something to look up to. We've learned a lot about Columbus since then. I think we've made some progress on removing his name from these things and not maybe celebrating him like we did. I think the day or the month is about Italian American heritage. We're not, as a city council, probably going to figure out how we should celebrate every single culture in the city of Salem tonight at this meeting. If there's a conversation to be had around Italian American heritage, I'm happy to have that. And if we can have people come to the table and have discussions around when that should be, is it more appropriate to have it in April when it was with sort of an anti-fascist Liberation Day connection? I think that's a great conversation to have. I don't think I'm the one to make that decision right now. I don't think we are, especially a few weeks before October starts. I think that it's important to have that recognition now, move forward, leave some openness for the mayor's office to have some say around when the flags come down and move forward.
Thank you. Councilor Flynn, then Councilor Prosnowski.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to answer the question to the good Ward 3 councilor, I was honored to follow the tradition of the former Ward 4 councilor, Lenny O'Leary, someone I look up to and respect greatly. That was his tradition of putting the Irish flag up during several days around St. Patrick's Day and including St. Patrick's Day. As far as the month of October, I do not want any problems with taking down any other flags. I want their flags to stay up when they were supposed to. And for the remainder of October, if there's a week and a half, if we can fly the Italian flag. To people that I've talked to about this and Italian Americans, it doesn't sound like much of an issue right now on the floor, but to them, it's very important, probably just as important as anything we're talking about on our agenda tonight. So there is a lot of pride. The Italian Americans have contributed so much to the city of Salem, with our construction, with teachers, firefighters, DPW workers, police officers. They've contributed over the years, and this is something they really look forward to. And I hope we can, when honor this, we'll work with the mayor's office between one flag and the other for the month of October. But I just want to answer that question, how I came up with several days for St. Patty's Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Prosnowski.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just can't believe that we're spending so much time on this one issue, which should have been pretty simple. This is Italian Heritage Month. It's recognized by the federal government that way. The Italian community played a huge part in shaping this city. And to change past practice, to not fly the flag in the month of October, this is it's for the Italian Heritage Month. It's not Columbus Heritage Month. I don't see any relationship. I understand the political the political atmosphere right now may want people to kind of join that together, but that's not what this city is. This city grew up on its ethnic backgrounds, of which the Italians and other ethnicities built this city. And I think we should raise that flag and fly it proudly and thank the Italian community for what they've done for Salem. Thank you.
Thank you. Council Sergeant.
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, if later on somebody wants to bring in an ordinance deciding on what number of days we can fly a flag for certain occasions and certain heritages and certain groups, fine. But we don't have that ordinance right now. Other groups are allowed to fly flags for a month and 2 weeks, 1 week, whatever they decide appropriate. It's a pretty loose interpretation. And Councilor Flynn has brought that in. He's agreed not to have it interfere with Hispanic Heritage Month. And I believe we should keep it at that. You know, there'll be a time to disrespect Christopher Columbus later. But Christopher Columbus's name is not in this order whatsoever. And it wasn't discussed and it wasn't any intent. So I believe we should leave that alone right now. Congress has saw fit to make October Italian American Heritage Month so we can celebrate the contributions the Italian Americans have made to our country. And that's all the Council Flynn is trying to do. And that's what I would like to do. So let's move forward and do that, please.
Thank you. Anyone else? No. There was a motion on the floor to amend Councilor Flynn's order to allow no overlap with any other festivals, flags that will be raised during that time, and leave it to the discretion of the mayor to work with Councilor Flynn with the mayor's office to come up with the appropriate time to raise the Italian flag during the month of October. That everyone, that would be, was there a second to that amendment?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Councilor Turiel. All those in favor of the amendment? Let the record reflect I saw everyone's hand plus my own. On Councilor Flynn's adopted amended order to raise the Italian flag during Italian American Heritage Culture Month, not to conflict with any other flag raising that may have already been scheduled or is to be scheduled, and to allow the mayor's office to coordinate with Councilor Flynn to find the appropriate time to raise the flag during the month of October. Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilor Dibble?
Yes.
Councilor Dominguez?
Yes.
Councilor Flynn?
Yes.
Councilor Hapworth?
Yes.
Councilor Madore?
No.
Councilor Marcillo?
Yes.
Councilor Krasniewski?
Yes.
Councilor Riccardi?
No.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes.
Councilor Toriel?
No.
Councilor McCarthy?
Yes. In the matter of the Italian flag being displayed in Raleigh Plaza as amended, we have 11 members voting, 8 in the affirmative, 3 in the negative. The matter carries. Councilor Dibble, did you have any additional motion, order, resolution? I think you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I have 2 orders. It's odd, my screen just jumped. Can you all hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, I have 2 orders, the first of which is co-sponsored by Councilor Dominguez and myself. The second is just mine. I'll read them right now. The first of which, City of Salem, in City Council, September 10th, 2020, ordered that the Committee on Government Services co-posted with the Committee of the Whole meet to discuss the possible text messaging and private communications during public City Council meetings and City Council committee meetings, including during the most recent regularly scheduled City Council meeting of Thursday, July 23rd, 2020, in context of the possible illegal and or unethical communications by and between any City of Salem officials, and determine, 1, if private communications during official City Council meetings are illegal, and whether these types of private communications are in violation of Massachusetts state laws, City of Salem ordinances, and the rules of the City Council, and 2, to determine and recommend what action should be taken, if any, including requesting involvement of the Massachusetts State Ethics Commission. Be it further ordered that city officials do not delete these electronic communications, if any, that were made during city council public meetings for possible investigation of wrongdoing, and that the city clerk, city solicitor, and human resources director be ordered to attend, and that the mayor be invited. Respectfully submitted by City Councilor Stephen Dibble and City Councilor Domingo Dominguez. And I move that it go to Government Services Committee, which it automatically does, I believe.
So moved. It's non-debatable.
Okay. May I continue, Mr. President?
Yep.
Okay, second.
On Council Dibble's motion that his order be sent to the Committee on Government Services, co-posted, I'm assuming, Council?
Yes, it is co-posted.
All those in favor?
Alec.
All those opposed? Yeah, it's Councilor Dibble.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, in City Council, September 10th, 2020, ordered that the Committee on Government Services, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, meet to discuss and recommend specific actions to be taken on the possible bullying, lying, and intimidation tactics by Mayor Kim Driscoll, sometimes by the mayor herself, other times via proxy by certain city employees, certain board and committee members, and other mayoral supporters. These improper tactics are often used against city councilors who may disagree with the mayor or even simply have questions or concerns. Included in these was the outright recent bullying of at-large Councilor Domingo Dominguez in respect to two recent poorly worded housing initiatives proposed by the mayor. These matters were tabled, received from committee, only to be put back into committee and or then tabled again, but not acted on. These tactics were simply to delay the votes for numerous weeks, to allow for more time and for more bullying to take place in an attempt to try to force certain councilors, especially Councilor Dominguez, to switch their votes. Further, the mayor has repeatedly attempted to unethically and possibly illegally pressure councilors to allow the mayor to win on every single issue, often without compromise by the mayor and often without questions allowed. In addition, the Government Services Committee is ordered to discuss potential bullying tactics of a member of Salem's No Place for Hate Committee and determine what action, if any, should be taken against the committee member. Be it further ordered that the city clerk, city solicitor, Salem police chief or designee, and human resources director be ordered to attend, and that the mayor and No Place for Hate Committee be invited to attend. Respectfully submitted by City Councilor Stephen Dibble. And I move for adoption.
No discussion on this. On Councilor Dibble's motion that this matter be sent to the Committee on Government Services, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole. All those in favor? All those opposed?
It's automatic anyway.
Said it, no, I take a different council. It's the vote whether or not to send to committee is, the issue is non-debatable, but the fact of sending it to committee requires a vote. It's usually done without it. I usually don't even count the votes because it usually just goes, but I'm seeing some, could I have that one more time? All those in favor? Because I have to count them on, unless someone wants to call for a roll. All those in favor?
So moved. I'll call for a roll call.
Councilor Terry will ask for a roll call vote. Show 3 hands.
Under discussion, please.
We could discuss the matter of whether or not, we're not going to discuss the underlying matter. We can discuss whether or not.
I believe any late file by rule, unless there's an objection, no, any late file has to go to committee unless we vote, like a money matter. We vote to take, but if there's a late file, it usually has to go to committee, and this is a late file.
It goes to committee. It's not debatable and goes to committee, but if the will is not to send it to committee, then it doesn't have to go to committee. and I will ask the city clerk to verify that. And then Councilor Dibble, as long as you're going to talk about, we're not talking about the issue, we're talking about procedure. And I rule on procedures, and I'm gonna ask the clerk to verify, but it's my opinion that it was brought in as a late file, it's non-debatable, but it's also up to the committee, it's also up to the 11 members of the body whether or not the matter goes to committee. Is that correct, Madam City Clerk?
Thank you, Mr. President. You recognize me. May I speak on the procedure?
Before we do that, I'm going to recognize the clerk first. Madam City Clerk?
Though it has not really happened before, it does have to be voted on to still go to committee.
Thank you. That's what I thought. Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have never seen it that way before. If councilor would object to something going to committee, then at our next meeting, it would be automatically posted at the next meeting. And it's the same thing when the mayor submits something that is a late file. If I or you or anybody else on the council were to object, it would then not be sent to committee, but it would go to the next agenda at our next regularly scheduled meeting. So if this council does not want to send it to committee now, then it needs to go on to our next agenda. We can have a discussion on it then and maybe send it to committee or maybe not, depending on what the will of the body is. But my understanding right now is quite clear. The way it's been going on for 4.5 years is that this automatically goes to committee without a vote, as the Dean of the Council just said, Councilor Sargent. So procedurally, taking a vote on this is not what we've been doing for 4.5 years. This should automatically go to committee, and if there's an objection by any single one member, then it automatically goes on to the next regularly scheduled meeting's agenda. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you for trying to school me on the rules, Council Dibble, but being 13 years as a member, and this is my 3rd year as council president, I will tell you that any matter going to committee still requires a vote. So all I'm saying is what happens to the issue after the vote. I personally don't have a dog in the fight with regards to what happens to the issue. So I don't like to use that. I withdraw that. I don't have any. It doesn't. My objective is to follow the rules, and the rules, as I'm going to state, is you brought in an order as a late file. And being a late file, the issue is non-debatable. I'm not debating the issue. I'm debating the fact that you've brought in a late file, and the late file has now been, you're trying to assign it to a committee, co-post it. All I'm saying is the rules state, which the city clerk says, this has never happened, but I'm just going to say that I understand the rules. The rules state that the matter has to be voted on.
Breaking up, Council.
It goes to committee. You can bring it in as a file for the next meeting if you so choose, but I'm just telling you, the rules are, it has to be voted on whether or not it goes to committee, because the body could decide that the matter should go to a different committee. But in this case, you've decided, so all I'm saying is the rules state that it has to be voted on whether it goes to committee. The rule about a late file is it's non-debatable. Am I correct on my assumption on that, Madam City Clerk?
The way I have always known it, I think that, well, the Mass General Law, but.
Yep. And this is right now, it's 9:15, and we're bringing in a late file, and I'm just saying that Councilor Turiel's asked for a roll call vote whether or not the matter goes to committee. To see a show of 3 hands. 1, 2, does I have another hand for a roll call vote? 1, 2, 3, thank you. So, Madam City Clerk, please call a yay vote means the matter goes to committee, and a no vote means the matter does not go to committee. And then at that point, we can discuss what's going to happen. But, Madam City Clerk.
Councilor Dibble?
Yes.
Councilor Dominguez?
Yes.
Councilor Flynn?
Yes.
Councilor Hapworth? I can't hear you, I'm sorry. Unmute.
No.
Councilor Madore?
No.
Councilor Marcillo?
No.
Councilor Prosnewski?
No.
Councilor Riccardi?
No.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes.
Councilor Torrio,
No.
and Councilor McCarthy.
No. In the matter of sending the late file to committee, we have 11 members voting, 7 in the affirmative. Which way did we vote?
4 in the affirmative, 7 in the negative.
4 in the affirmative, 7 in the negative. The matter does not carry. The matter does not go to committee. Counselor, you're more than happy to bring it in next time as a file. Any further motions, orders, or resolutions? By anyone? Seeing none. Committee reports.
That being me. Mr. President, the Committee on Administration and Finance co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred a $130,000 appropriation from receipts reserved on the Witch House to Pioneer Village relocation project, has considered said matter and would recommend approval by roll call vote.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? Let the record reflect I saw 10 hands plus my own. On adoption of the recommendation, on discussion, Councilor Terrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. We held this on Tuesday. It was a fairly, this part was a fairly brief meeting. It got some of the newer councilors familiar with the long-term focus of the particular relocation project. I know the council president and I have both been sitting on that group for several years now as it's been working along. This is a project with the goal of ultimately moving the Pioneer Village and preserving whatever is possible that's still being worked out to the area where Camp Nomkeg currently sits, and then rebuilding Camp Nomkeg at Forest River to take advantage of the facilities at Forest River Park. So should this work out in favor, and so far most of the work that's gone on for this has been positive, this would result in some advantages. It would bring more tourists to the Pioneer Village site by moving it out of a residential neighborhood that's fairly busy and really would rather not get a lot of tourist traffic, and moving it out to one of Salem's already used recreation areas with the willows. And it would also take Camp Nomkeg, a seasonal camp, bring it to better utilization and let it take advantage of the facilities that we have at Forest River, including, among other things, a new pool that's coming. So this has been going fairly well so far. We've had Salem's tourism industry and many of our historic advocates have been involved with it, including HSI. And so far, it's been a fairly positive process. And this is to take some of the money that we've made out of the Witch House side of things and use that to help help keep this design process moving along. And the committee voted unanimously to support it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll. Sorry, Councilor
Sargent.
Just a quick question as far as have we had any public meetings yet as to let the public weigh in on the move, the switch in places of these two places? I've had some comments from people, but I'm not sure if we had a public meeting with all this, Zoom meetings going on about whether or not we should make this change.
Not this year. There have been a couple as this process has been going on over the last several years, and we're still not close to a final decision as to how it will work and what the logistics and timing. This is a goal. This is a project that's out there time frame wise to be, if this is able to happen, and I think we should have an answer on that by next year, based on the work that's gone into it. We're looking at probably a 2024 or so timeframe for completion on it in order to be ready, possibly 2025, to be ready for the 400th anniversary in 2026. So there's still a long ways to go on it as far as public feedback and public input. We've had some in the earlier stages, and right now, though, what's going on has not been in those.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Dibble,
Yes.
Councilor Dominguez,
Yes.
Councilor Flynn,
Yes.
Councilor Hapworth,
Yes.
Councilor Madore,
Yes.
Councilor Musillo,
Yes.
Councilor Presnowski,
Yes.
Councilor Riccardi,
Yes.
Councilor Sargent,
Yes.
Councilor Torrio,
Yes.
and Councilor McCarthy.
Yes. On the matter of the adoption of the recommendation of the Finance Committee relative to the $130,000 appropriation, we have 11 members voting, 11 in favor, and none in the negative. Matter carries. Further committee reports. Councilor Terrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, City Council, 29-2020. The Committee on Administration and Finance co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred $80,000 appropriation for restoration of the Salem Common Fence, has considered said matter, would recommend approval by roll call vote, and for the matter to remain in committee.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed, let the record reflect the saw 10 hands was known. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion, Councilor Terrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. So this was also something we met on Tuesday night, and it was pretty productive. We had Brandon Corriston there from the city, from the planning department, to speak about the restoration efforts thus far. What we have learned out of it is that although restoration has gone well and substantial portions of the fence have been repaired and rebuilt, we still have some concerns about the overall cost of this restoration, and more importantly, the ongoing cost of the restoration, as far as what it will cost in years to come. How fast will these panels that have been redone need to be replaced themselves? How long will they last? And what options are there for protecting the fence better that fit within historic restrictions? Are there perhaps material or technique changes that we can make going forward to continue with the historic aspects of the fence, but make it less expensive to maintain or less expensive to replace segments? For instance, one thing that I brought up was the possibility of, instead of using the cast iron that they use now, which is very brittle, potentially using steel instead, or that is made to look like. And they were going to do some investigation as to what exactly the preservation restrictions that are on the common require, as to whether they have to be materially accurate or just look and feel accurate. So there's a lot of those questions that will be determined, and we decided that. And this appropriation also helps secure roughly $50,000 in grants to help expand what we're able to repair. So we did decide that it was worthwhile. And again, this was a unanimous vote in committee, but we also chose to leave it in committee so we can have some more discussions about the cost of materials and the like.
Anyone else?
Just a quick comment.
Councilor Dibble first. He had his hand up first, then Councilor Sargent.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have to agree with the Ward 5 councilor. I think he handled it quite well in his summary just now and at the meeting the other day. The Salem Common Fence costs us way too much money. It's important to keep it in good shape. We need to enforce that the snow plows from certain driveways do not pile the snow up across the street and damage the fence that way. But mostly, as Councilor Turiel just stated, it's a brittle type of material. Cast iron just does not last. I was charged with repairing the fence for 12 out of the 14 years that I worked with the city of Salem. And back in the 80s and 90s, we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars repairing the fence. And we tried different techniques of expansion joints and on, but Councilor Turiel's recommendation that we look at ways of making it look historic and not being cast iron is absolutely the way to go, because it just costs us. Back then in the 80s, if it was several $100,000 into the 90s as well, on today's money, we've already spent over $1 million in the last 2 decades or 2.5 decades on repairing the fence over and over and over again. And sometimes it's the exact same panels and same posts that keep breaking. So I applaud the Ward 5 councilor's comments, and hopefully we as a council and the mayor's office can follow through and really look about doing things differently, because it costs way too much money. Although it's very, very important to have it looking good, I agree. I just don't think it's justified with the outrageous amount of money that we spend on the fence.
You, Council Sergeant.
Thank you. Just to reiterate, I think Councilor Dibble said is you'll find a large majority of the damage, coincidentally, across the street from large driveways. And nobody sees the damage as it happens because it's in the middle of a storm. But plows, I've seen it as a teenager growing up, as a young adult growing up. I've seen people that I hung around with where we get blamed for damage on the fence, and we'd see the plows backing into driveways, pulling out, pushing the snow across the street, and the plow doesn't hit the fence, but the big pile of snow in front of it does, and then it's all tied up inside that pile of snow till the snow melts, and then you see a pile of metal on the ground when the snowbank melts, and that's where a large amount of the damage is coming, and we have to find a way to stop that from happening. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, on Councilor Torriello's motion. This wasn't a roll call vote, was it, Councilor?
Yes.
On Councilor Torriello's motion for roll call vote to approve the $80,000 appropriation, but also refer the matter back to the committee so that to continue conversation to how the fence is going to be dealt with in the future. Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilor Dibble,
Yes.
Councilor Dominguez,
Yes.
Councilor Flynn,
Yes.
Councilor Hapworth,
Yes.
Councilor Madore,
Yes.
Councilor Morcillo,
Yes.
Councilor Kwasniewski,
Yes.
Councilor Riccardi,
Yes.
Councilor Sargent,
Yes.
Councilor Torriel,
Yes.
and Councilor McCarthy.
Yeah. On the matter of the appropriation of $80,000 and then referring the matter back to committee, we have 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, and then they have that carries. We already did that one. Further committee reports on page 19. Councilor Madore.
President. Right one. City of Salem City Council, September 10, 2020, Committee on Ordinances, License and Legal Affairs, composed of a committee of the whole, to whom was referred the matter of amending traffic ordinance, Chapter 42, Section 75, resident sticker parking program. Has considered said matter and would recommend remain in committee.
On acceptance of report, all those in favor? All those opposed, let the record reflect I saw 10 hands plus my own. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion, Councilor Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. This order is in regards to making some changes with to the resident sticker parking program, and specifically there were changes to make the process more streamlined and to shift some of the authority over to the traffic and parking director, and additionally lift some of the restriction on university students who live in Salem that may or may not attend Salem State University. And upon a robust discussion, we feel that there needs to be more work done by the Traffic and Parking Department, so we decided to keep it in committee.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Madore's recommendation, this matter remain in committee. All those in favor? All those opposed, let the record reflect I saw 10 hands plus my own. Further committee reports, Councilor Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem City Council, September 10, 2020, Committee on Ordinances, License and Legal Affairs, co-posed of a committee of whole to whom was referred the matter of amending traffic Chapter 42, Sections 75, 51, 56, relative to Getney Street and Holyoke Square, has considered said matter and would recommend adoption for first passage.
Acceptance of report. All those in favor? All those opposed, let the record reflect there's 10 hands plus my own. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion, Councilor Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. This order was filed more than 2 years ago to make some of the parking enforcement changes along Getney and Holyoke Square. In particular, there used to be some deeded spaces that belong to the business along Holyoke Square that's being returned to the city. And in response to some of the feedback we heard from residents in the area and businesses, that the enforcement would be changed to better reflect the usage pattern, given it's a busy area with the post office and the supermarket, Steve's. So it's become more clear and predictable for folks who go into that area to park and visit the businesses. And we had, the matter has been heard by OLA as of yesterday 3 times. So there's been a lot of work put into some of the changes that's been responsive to the feedback from the residents and businesses in the area.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to commend the Ward 2 councilor for chairing an excellent meeting. I think that it took a while to get to this point, but I think we got it right. I remember years ago, before I was a councilor, that meters were being put up by the post office and by Steve's Quality Market, which really didn't make any sense, because why allow for 2-hour parking when the spaces really turn over every 5 or 10 minutes, it seems like, at times. So the changes that we made in committee, I think, would really help the residents of the area, but also not hurt the businesses. The recommendation came in with something for 2 hours. We want to changing it to 30-minute spaces. So the spaces will continue to turn over pretty fast around the post office, around Steve's Quality Market, around the liquor store. And then people at the hair salon need a little bit more time. There's 2-hour parking there as well. And the residents have resident-only parking now as well for the first time in a section of it. But all in all, I think that the committee and our chair did an excellent job on this one and to get it right. So I'll be voting in full support of this one.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Mr. President?
Council Sergeant.
I just had one question. I wasn't exactly sure if there were going to be meters along Gedney Street. And if so, I'd like to make a motion to have no meters on the Gedney Street section. The rest of it would be fine. So I'll yield.
I was in the meeting last night, and I don't recall if there were meters on Gedney Street. Councilman Doyle?
Thank you, Mr. President. I believe it was just at least the southerly side. Half of that was 15 minutes.
Right.
I'm trying to picture this, orient myself. I think half of it was 15 and the other was 2 hours.
I thought.
But the 2 hours, the 3 spaces on the southerly side of Gedney, I think those were metered.
Okay. And what about the 30-minute ones by the post office? Are those metered?
I don't believe 15-minute, Mr. President, if I may, I don't believe 15-minute parking spaces are metered. They're
Mr. President,
not metered.
through you, Mr. President, yes, no, the 15 minutes are metered. I was on about the 30-minute spaces that are diagonal up against the side of the post office building. Those are along Gedney Street also.
Mr. President, if I may, I believe those are also not metered.
Okay. So just to be on the safe side, I'd like to make a motion to have no meters on Gedney Street.
Councilor Flynn, then Councilman Solo, then Councilor Flynn.
I was seconding that motion for Councilor Sargent.
Okay. Councilman Solo.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm looking at the diagram that was given out at the meeting, and the only metered spaces are the 2-hour metered spaces. And so the 2-hour metered spaces are in front of the hairdresser, those 3 spaces, and then across the street from the hairdresser, those diagonal spaces, and then around the Holyoke, the old Holyoke building, Holyoke Insurance. So all the rest is non-metered according to this diagram.
Yep.
Thank you. I see that now, but so there are only a few 2-hour metered spaces along there, and it does get close to the neighborhood when you get on the sidewall of Holyoke. So I would just like to make that motion to eliminate meters on Gedney Street only, not on Holyoke Square, but just on Gedney Street. And that's been seconded.
Yep. Under discussion, Councilor Prosnowski.
Remind the other OLA members, we did have a long discussion on this, which involved a lot of people from the Traffic and Parking Commission, including David Kucharski and Lieutenant Dave Tucker from the police station. And I was under the assumption that we all came to the agreement to pass it as it was. And that those few metered spots on the south side of Gedney Street alongside the old Holyoke building be metered. And I thought we adopted it that way, and we're bringing it to the city council that way. So I'm just moving that we adopt exactly what was spoken and agreed to last night by Ola and the Traffic and Parking Commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Council Maduro.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think the discussion last night ended with, this has gone on for more than 2 years, and the businesses are eager to see these changes to make it more predictable for their customers. And we're willing to give this a try, to actually move it forward, give it a try. And if the meters, the 3 spaces that are closest to the businesses the metered nature of these spaces are too much of a burden for them, then we can revisit that change. But for now, I think it would do a great service to these businesses to move forward these changes for now. I think that's how we left the discussion. So I like to see this move forward and adopt it for first passage.
All that being said, we have a motion on the floor by Councilor Sargent, seconded by Councilor Flynn, to add language to the report that basically says that there'll be no meters on Gedney Street. Is that correct, Council?
Yes.
Under discussion, Councilor Dibble.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I think it's very important that the 15-minute spaces around the Steve's Quality Market and the liquor store, they stay as non-metered. That's how it's proposed, so no changes there. And around the post office, those are all 30-minute parking spaces, unmetered as well, including the side of the post office. The meters would be at the beside the Holyoke building on Gedney Street, 2 hours with meters. And then the 3 or 4 spaces that were directly in front of the hair salon would be 2-hour parking to allow those customers more time, because they can't take care of the business in 15 minutes. So that would be metered there. But I would be against not having meters in front of the business, in front of the hair salon, because otherwise you're going to have cars parked there for the whole day, and it would hurt the hair salon and the other businesses that are in that one block. Those spaces need to be metered so the spaces turn over. The spaces across the street, close to Chestnut Street, next to the Holyoke building, I don't have a preference one way or another whether they should be metered or not. I thought that they should be metered because it would cause those spaces to turn over rather than have downtown workers get a free parking space next to the Holyoke Insurance for all day, further hurting the businesses there. So I'm all about helping the businesses there. The package that was presented helps the residents that live right there, but it also helps and works in great concert with the businesses. So, but to take the meters away, especially those right in front of the business, I think it's just going to really, really hurt those businesses. So I can't support the at-large councilor's motion.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. I see the votes. I withdraw my motion.
Thank you. Councilor Sargent has withdrawn his motion. So seeing no further discussion, Madam City Clerk, will you call the roll on the adoption of the recommendation for first passage for amending the Gedney Street, Holyoke Square?
Can I ask for clarification first? Councilman Madore, so this is number 241 from 2018. It sounds like it's been amended. Is there a first adoption as amended, and B, do you have the most current? Because I'm don't have anything. So if I just want to make sure I'm thinking of the correct ordinance.
Mr. President, if I may. So this was filed, 241 was filed in 18 as amended, and then we have an amended version because we have heard it twice before the committee. And then 424B was a refile to add on to the next order was refiled to add on to the Holyoke Square spaces turnover. But 241 was amended to include all the changes that we just discussed.
Right, but
So
that's when you're speaking on tonight that we are adopting for first passage as amended from the 2018.
Okay, as amended. I was wondering whether I should have added that.
All right, I just wanted to make sure that
And Councilman Dora, can we make sure that we get
the new, because I have to advertise that tomorrow.
Copy of that.
Okay.
Yes, we'll do.
The version from last night. Thank you.
Yep.
So for that clarification, we're voting on the amending the traffic section, chapter 42, sections 75, 51, and 56 relative to Gedney Street and Holyoke Square as amended. Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Council Dibble,
Yes.
Council Dominguez,
Yes.
Council Flynn,
Yes.
Council Hapworth,
Yes.
Council Madore,
Yes.
Council Marcillo,
Yes.
Council Prosnowski,
Yes.
Council Riccardi,
Yes.
Council Sargent,
Yes.
Council Torrio,
Yes.
and Council McCarthy.
Yes. On the matter of amending the ordinance relative to chapter 42, section 75, 51, 56 relative to Gedney Street and Holyoke Square, we have 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. The matter carries. Further committee reports. Councilman Dole.
Mr. President, City of Salem City Council, September 10, 2020, Committee on Ordinances, License and Legal Affairs, co-posted with Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of Traffic Ordinance, Chapter 42, Sections 57C, 51B, 74, and 56, relative to Holyoke Square and Gedney Street, has considered said matter and would recommend adoption for first passage as amended.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed, let the record reflect I saw 10 hands plus my own. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion, Councilman Dole.
Thank you, Mr. President. As I mentioned earlier, this was a refile of the previous order to include the turnover of the Holyoke Square parking spaces and to change them into meter enforced 2-hour parking.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none on Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Council Dibble,
Yes.
Council Dominguez,
Yes.
Council Flynn,
Yes.
Council Hapworth,
Yes.
Council Madore,
Yes.
Council Marcillo,
Yes.
Council Prosnowski,
Yes.
Council Riccardi,
Yes.
Council Sargent,
Yes.
Council Torrio, Council,
Councilor Turiel is not with us.
okay,
Had to disappear from the room for a second, yes.
okay,
Yes, there he is. Yes.
and Council McCarthy.
Yes. On the matter of amending a traffic ordinance, chapter 42, sections 57C, 51B, 74, 56, relative to Holyoke Square and Gedney Street, we have 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. Matter carries. Further committee reports, Councilman Dole.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem City Council, September 10, 2020, Committee on Ordinances, License and Legal Affairs, co-posted with Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of Traffic Chapter 42, Section 13, Service Zone, Hawthorne Boulevard, repeal and replace, has considered said matter and will recommend adoption for second and final passage.
On acceptance of report, all those in favor? All those opposed? The record reflects 10 plus my own. On adoption of the recommendation and discussion, Councilman Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. This was first adopted back in the spring. And Mr. President, yourself had a concern about the turnover of business along Hawthorne Boulevard and Derby Street on the corner where the dry cleaner is now a home goods store. We wanted to wait and see if there were service zone concerns with the new business, and so far we've heard none. So this is just kind of double checking whether this change would hurt the business. And so I think the committee felt comfortable to let this go to the second final passage.
Thank you. Seeing any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Council Dibble,
Yes.
Council Dominguez,
Yes.
Council Flynn,
Yes.
Council Hapworth,
Yes.
Council Madore,
Yes.
Council Marcillo,
Yes.
Council Prosnowski,
Yes.
Council Riccardi,
Yes.
Council Sargent,
Yes.
Council Torrio,
Yes.
and Council McCarthy.
Yes. In the matter of amending the traffic ordinance for second passage relative to traffic section 42, section 13, service zones, Hawthorne Boulevard, we have 11 members voting, 11 affirm, and none negative. Medic carries. Further committee reports, Councilman Dole.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem City Council, September 10, 2020. The Committee on Ordinances, Licensing and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of ordinance amending Traffic Chapter 42, Section 56, parking meters, Hawthorne Boulevard, repeal and replace, has considered said matter and will recommend adoption for second and final passage.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion, Councilman Dole.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is just part of the package with this changes in parking in this area to make them into, I believe it was resident parking on Little Hawthorne Boulevard and also the main Hawthorne Boulevard. And just to see if there's any adverse impact on the businesses. And so far, we have heard none. So move forward with second and final passage.
And for everyone's clarification, these are just we had a lot of overlapping ordinances relative to parking down there with resident parking and all sorts of things. This is just a way to codify it and clean it up. So that being said, I want to thank the committee for their work on this. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Dibble,
Yes.
Council Dominguez,
Yes.
Council Flynn,
Yes.
Council Hapworth,
Yes.
Council Madore,
Yes.
Council Marcillo,
Yes.
Council Prosnowski,
Yes.
Council Riccardi,
Yes.
Council Sargent,
Yes.
Council Torrio,
Yes.
and Council McCarthy.
Yes, in the matter of amending an ordinance relative to traffic, Chapter 42, Section 56, parking meters on Boulevard, the second passage, we have 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmatives, none in the negative. Matter carries. Further committee reports, Councilman Dole.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem City Council, September 10, 2020. The Committee on Ordinances, Licensing and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of ordinance amending Traffic Chapter 42, Section 75, resident sticker parking, Hawthorne Boulevard, repeal and replace, has considered said matter and will recommend adoption for second and final passage.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? The record reflects 10 plus my own. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion, Council Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the final piece of this to change and clarify parking enforcement in this area to clean up the language around resident sticker parking.
Yep. Anyone else? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Council Dibble,
Yes.
Council Dominguez,
Yes.
Council Flynn,
Yes.
Council Hapworth,
Yes.
Council Madore,
Yes.
Council Marcillo,
Yes.
Council Prosnowski,
Yes.
Council Riccardi,
Yes.
Council Sargent,
Yes.
Council Torrio,
Yes.
and Council McCarthy.
Yes. In the matter of a second final passage for traffic ordinance amending, for an ordinance amending traffic, Section 42, Section 75, resident sticker, Hawthorne Boulevard. We have 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. Matter carries. Communications for city officials, none. Petitions.
With the following list of license applications: public guides, taxi cab limos, taxi operators, vehicle for hire, and vehicles for hire operators only.
Councilman Dole.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that these be granted.
Councilman Dole moves to be granted. On discussion?
No discussion.
No discussion on Councilman Dole's motion that these matters be granted. All those in favor, show of hands, please. Let the record reflect to see 10 hands plus my own. Matter carries. Matter is granted. Further petitions.
We have one taxi operator license.
Councilman Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move this one be denied.
Councilman Madore moves that this matter be denied. All those in favor? All those opposed? Let the record reflect. Can I see the hands again, please? I'm sorry. Let the record reflect. I see 9 hands plus my own for 10. Further petitions.
We have one drain layer contract operator license application.
Councilman Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move this be granted.
Councilman Madore moves that this matter be granted. All those in favor? All those opposed? Let the record reflect. I saw 10 hands plus my own. Further petitions.
We have 3 claims.
Councilman Madore.
Mr. President, I move these be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs.
Councilman Madore moves that these matters be referred to the Committee on License, Orders, and Legal Affairs. All those in favor? All those opposed? Let the record reflect. I saw 9 hands plus my own. Further petitions.
We have one drain layer bond.
Councilman Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move these be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, and return approved.
Councilman Madore moves that these matters be referred to the Committee on License, Orders, and Legal Affairs, and return approved. All those in favor? All those opposed? Let the record reflect. I saw 10 hands plus my own. Anyone else for a Councilor Masillo, then Councilor Dibble?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd just like to take a point of personal privilege to commend the city clerk, Eileen Simons, and her staff for running a really exceptional election day. There was a lot thrown at her for a couple of weeks. They had to be very nimble and come up with new procedures, and they did a great job. And I think we should all be very appreciative of a very safe, and it was just a great election. Thank you.
Thank you.
A lot of people were involved behind the scenes, trust me. Took a village. Thank you, though.
There were a lot of phone calls between myself and the clerk and the assistant city clerk, allowing them to vent about things that were going on. That was a great sounding board, I thought. Council Dibble.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would have to agree as well, and it's one of 2 things I was going to recommend. So thank you to the Madam City Clerk and her entire staff for a job well done. Secondly, I'd like to just point out that my father, 85-year-old, is in attendance on the Zoom meeting here tonight. This is probably the 4th or 5th time that he's attended a meeting on Zoom with our city council, but this time he found his way totally on his own and did it on his own. And so if he can do it, just about anybody should be able to do it by now. But Mr. President, I just want to point out, hopefully we're having discussions soon about getting us back into city council chambers, but continuing some sort of Zoom fashion, or tonight is the first time it's being live streamed on Facebook, but not everybody has Facebook. But it'd be good to live stream it on our website, or some way that the general public can chime in and can speak during open testimony at the beginning of the meeting, and don't have to be a Facebook member. So I look forward to the days when we're all face-to-face once again. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. I've had that conversation with the city solicitor and the health agent. I'm not sure when that may occur, but where obviously the rules and regulations coming out of the state change hourly, if not daily, or if not weekly. So we're trying to work out those details, but I think that if we do some sort of morphed council meeting, I think that just with the restraints of the room I'm sitting in, absent all of you, by the way, it's good seeing you all again. We just definitely have some constraints that we have to deal with, and I do believe that anything that we do in the future is going to have some sort of Zoom platform for public participation, because without being able to anticipate how many people would come in on a weekly meeting, and I would never want to turn anyone away at the door if we reach some sort of capacity. So trying to work through those details. I anticipated this kind of question, so I've already reached out to the city solicitor and to the health agent, and I've had this conversation with our city clerk as well. Anyone else? Well, it was great seeing all of you. Nice to have you all back for the first meeting. Council Sergeant.
Move for adjournment, please.
Council Sergeant moves for adjournment. All those in favor, all those opposed, we stand adjourned. Thank you. Have a good night.
Aye.
Thank you. Good night.